Thank you, Dan, and good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2. There cannot be another country in world football where a cup final for a third and fourth tier domestic side attracts an attendance in excess of 80,000 people. That's what we have here at England's National Stadium this afternoon, as two former Premier League sides who've fallen on somewhat hard times in recent years contest the EFL Trophy final. Both Portsmouth and Sunderland were unbeaten throughout the group stages of this season's competition, and then went on to dispose of elite academy sides in the knockout stages. No one scored more than Pompey's 16. No one conceded less than the single goal from the Black Cats. And you can barely split them in the current League One table, both still fancying an automatic promotion place come May, as they sit third and fourth in the standings. And you can't split them in terms of support here either. 40,000 fans apiece filling this stadium like never before in this competition's history. Let's run you through the team news. Portsmouth make one important change to the team that beat Shrewsbury last time out in the league. Ronan Curtis is fit and starts in place of Gareth Evans. So Craig McGilvray is the Pompey keeper. Nathan Thompson, Christian Burgess, Matt Clark and Lee Brown in a back four. Tom Naylor and Ben Close, who's really developed as a Portsmouth player this year in central midfield, has nailed down a starting berth in recent months. Ronan Curtis plays alongside the captain Brett Pittman and Jamal Lowe, born in the shadow of Wembley Stadium, in an attacking midfield three behind lone striker Omar Bogle. As for Sunderland, they make two changes from their win against Walsall last time out in the league. Rhys James comes in at left back for the injured Adam Matthews, and George Honeyman, the skipper, is eligible to play despite a league suspension. He replaces Max Power. So John McLaughlin's the Black Cats goalkeeper, Luke O'Nien, Tom Flanagan, Jack Baldwin and Rhys James in the back four. Lee Cattermole and Grant Ledbetter as the defensive midfielders, and then Lewis Morgan, George Honeyman and Aidan McGeady in behind Will Grigg, once of Wigan Athletic, up front for the Black Cats. The benches: Alex Bass is the Pompey sub-keeper, along with Ollie Hawkins, Gareth Evans, Anton Walks, Brandon Houndstrup, Adam May and James Vaughan, the former Sunderland striker. And as for Sunderland themselves, Robin Reuter is the sub-keeper, Dylan McGeoch, Charlie White, Lyndon Gooch, Max Power, James Dunn and Denver Hume are on their reserve bench. The referee is Dean Whitestone from Northamptonshire, who has refereed Portsmouth twice this season, once in the FA Cup when they won at Maidenhead, and again in a topsy-turvy 3-3 draw at Roots Hall, Southend, just a few weeks ago. And we are ready for the off. Goodness me, the roar here is extraordinary. It's a privilege to be here this afternoon to bring this game to you live on TalkSport 2. The potential for extra time and penalties is always there, of course, in a cup final. And David Connolly, a man who's played for both Sunderland and Portsmouth during the latter days of his career, is ready for the off as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great occasion here.
Well, if there was a roof on this stadium, it would long since have come off. But they never built one, never got round to it. Perhaps they will one day, but this is a wonderful setting for the Checkatrade Trophy final, and Portsmouth get us underway. And we sit in the North Stand here at Wembley Stadium, behind the dugouts, and Portsmouth are defending the end, the West Stand away to our right, where their supporters are, wearing their blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. Sunderland in the red and white stripes with the black shorts and the red socks, and instantly the ball's worked out to the right hand side for Lewis Morgan, who finds George Honeyman. Early ball into the area just beyond Will Grigg, and touched behind by Thompson for a corner to Sunderland. How close was that for Will Grigg to get on the end of that inside the first minute?
Well, it's a super start there from Sunderland. What a ball across the box from Honeyman, just a yard or two in front of Will Grigg, but brilliant little passage of play there.
Well, Grant Ledbetter's gone across to the far side in front of those Portsmouth fans at that corner to take a right-footed in-swinging corner, the first of the game, as Sunderland gets straight on the front foot in this Checkatrade Trophy final on TalkSport 2. Ledbetter's corner into the near post, and that's a very comfortable claim for Craig McGilvray in the Portsmouth goal. 0-0.
That's a bright opening. Ledbetter's got lovely delivery. We just saw that, but slightly too close to McGilvray. I saw him last week at Shrewsbury. He's got excellent hands, really clean. He will come and claim those sorts of things far too easily. Got to keep it slightly away from him.
Well, McGilvery was at Shrewsbury last season, but didn't get to play in the playoff final. That was Dean Henderson, of course, who was on loan at Shrewsbury that season, but he's got his chance today to play from the start, Craig McGilvery, in the National Stadium. Portsmouth winning the ball back. Omar Bogle, chance to drive towards the edge of the area. Now Ronan Curtis drives down the right-hand side of the area, tries to send it across, and it's well blocked in the end by Reece James at left-back for Sunderland. Still inside their own half, Sunderland. Fired down to try and get Grigg in behind the two centre-halves. He got away from Christian Burgess, but Matt Clark was in behind. But it's won back by Sunderland, and it's released Lewis Morgan down the right-hand side. Morgan gets to the byline. Good challenge from Lee Brown, the Portsmouth left-back, and he's won it down by the corner flag to dispossess Lewis Morgan. And it's very competitive in these early couple of minutes, David Connolly.
Well, brilliant there from Brown. I mean, Morgan's quick, but he actually matched him there, Lee Brown. Showed real good pace to get back. Great recovery tackle. The pass, though, from Ledbetter to release Morgan was sensational. Really open game here. Fast start. Sunderland, I think, will be happier, though. Settled down really well.
Will Grigg going very close to getting a toe end on George Honeyman's cross inside 30 seconds here at Wembley Stadium. We've now played 2.5 on TalkSport 2 in the Checkatrade Trophy final between Portsmouth and Sunderland, both of course League One sides, remember, both with games in hand on Barnsley and Luton above them, still with designs on automatic promotion, but that can wait for another day. Lewis Morgan for Sunderland, looks for Grigg, who's hugging the right hand touchline, and he's allowed Matt Clark to put it out of play for a Sunderland throw, midway point of the Portsmouth half, down the Sunderland right. And Luke O'Neill, who, as I mentioned before, played a lot of the Checkatrade Trophy games in central midfield, whilst a lot of youngsters were given their opportunity by Jack Ross. He's back in his more familiar right-back position today. His ball swung in, is cleared away. Pittman, the captain for Portsmouth, tries to hook it towards halfway. It's sent back towards the edge of the area, where a foul is given for a bit of a trip on Tom Naylor, and Portsmouth can calm things down for the first time. There's a slight hush, if it can be called a hush, descending over Wembley Stadium. 0-0.
Well, you can see Kenny Jackett there just saying to his troops, I think it was Ben Closey called over, just motioning about the ball, you know, settle down, can we get hold of the ball, just keep it for a spell. I mean, both these sides are lining up in the same formation, 4-2-3-1, very evenly matched, but at the minute Sunderland have the upper hand.
Grigg tries to chest it down to McGeady on the left-hand side, but it's won back by Ronan Curtis. Plays a 1-2 with Bogle, gets a good ball in from the right-hand side, but it's come to be claimed in the end by McLaughlin in the Sunderland goal. Laddie to bounce it in front of him, and the danger passes, but that means that both Portsmouth and Sunderland have got down the right-hand side and whipped decent crosses in these early stages on TalkSport 2.
Well, good defending there from Tom Flanagan. He knew that actually his keeper could claim that, didn't want to get a touch on it. Really good defending.
Ball sent downfield by McLaughlin, headed back towards the halfway line, and it's won back by Lewis Morgan. He's then barged into by Tom Naylor, so Sunderland have a free kick on the halfway line. 0-0 on TalkSport 2, with a free kick taken short for Lewis Morgan to drive in field, looking for Honeyman. He didn't really look up and see that Morgan was in possession. Ben Close wins it back for Portsmouth. Out on the right-hand side, Nathan Thompson finds Jamal Lowe, PE teacher who was born in the shadow of Wembley Stadium in Harrow and has been waiting all his life to play at the stadium he used to go past every day to go and train at Barnet. You can see Wembley Stadium from the Barnet training ground, of course, David Connolly.
Well, I saw Jamal a lot of time, numerous times, playing for Hampton and Richmond. Obviously he's made that step up, has done really well at Portsmouth, top goal scorer this season. It's been a standout season for him. He's a bag of tricks, I mean, he's so quick as well.
Yeah. Throw into Sunderland, level with the edge of the Portsmouth penalty area down the left-hand side. We played 5 minutes on TalkSport 2 in the Checkatrade Trophy final. Reece James to take it. McGeady comes short, gives it back to James. McGeady again under pressure from Nathan Thompson. It's another throw to Sunderland out on that far side of the field. 16 goals scored by Portsmouth to get to this stage, and Sunderland only conceded to Carlisle in the group stages. Once they got to the knockout stages, we were there on TalkSport 2 at the Stadium of Light when they saw off both the Newcastle under-21s and then the Manchester City under-21s. And then it was a semi-final success for both these sides. In the semi-finals, it was Bristol Rovers that Sunderland saw off 2-0, with Will Grigg getting his first of the competition, having arrived from Wigan. And Portsmouth saw off Bury by 3-0, with Evans, Hawkins and Curtis the goal scorers. Throwing down the right-hand side from Thompson, looking for Omar Bogle, knocks it down. Lowe's moved in field for the moment, but it's very neatly tidied up by Sunderland and sent back to John McLaughlin. His ball out to the left-hand side, intended for Reece James. He's overhit, and that'll give Portsmouth a throw. We played 7 minutes on TalkSport 2. Deafening atmosphere at Wembley Stadium. Must have been decent in Trafalgar Square last night, I can only imagine. Sunderland fans having the time of their lives. What's the hashtag? Won't be home for tea. Here's the cross from Nathan Thompson into the penalty area for Portsmouth, looking to pick out Ronan Curtis, but he won't find it. It's gone over his head, and it will drift out to play for a Sunderland throw in their right back position. 0-0.
Yeah, just looking at Sunderland, I mean, they're really comfortable in possession, willing to take the ball under pressure. Lewis Morgan's had an excellent start, really bright on the ball. Obviously you've got Cattermole and Ledbetter, so calm in possession as well.
David Connolly alongside me in the commentary box here at Wembley Stadium. It's TalkSport 2 at the Checkatrade Trophy final. 0-0 between Portsmouth and Sunderland, and we've played nearly 8 minutes now. Long ball downfield from McGilvery, flicked on by Bogle, but he can't find Curtis. It's thumped away instead at the back by Luke O'Neill. Flanagan steps in with a left-footed ball into the centre circle. McGeady trying to backpedal to receive possession. He's got away from him, but tidied up by Grant Ledbetter in the centre circle. Cleared away right-footed by John McLaughlin down to the halfway line. Tom Naylor heads it down. Lowe tries to lay it off for Ben Thompson, but wow, speedily onto him was Aidan McGeady to win the ball back, and then he was held back by Jamal Lowe, and that'll be a free kick to Sunderland, which again they take short inside their own half.
Well, look, they're not afraid, are they, to get the ball moving. Sunderland, they don't want to take it long and maybe risk possession. They have that time though, but a really bright start.
Ball's out of play for a Portsmouth throw. The round of applause you heard, incidentally, around Wembley Stadium whilst we were commentating was in memory of Bradley Lowry, the young Sunderland fan who became so well known. Jermaine Defoe was very close to young Bradley before he passed away far too early in the game, and he's just been remembered with a round of applause from right around Wembley Stadium in his memory. 0-0 with 9 minutes gone. Lee Brown, the left back for Portsmouth, dillied and dallied on the ball and allowed Honeyman to take it off his toe. Cattermole finds McGeady just inside the Portsmouth half, now looking to take on Nathan Thompson, trying to go on the outside of him. Checks and goes in field, skips away from Thompson for a moment, now checks back, goes inside Thompson again, taking Thompson with him in field, and Thompson, to be fair to him, stuck to his task really well and got it clear to the halfway line. Out to the right hand side, it's a chance for Lewis Morgan to try and get at Ronan Curtis. No immediate signs of any heavy strapping on the hand of Ronan Curtis, where he trapped his hand in the door. Not the nicest thing to happen. Nearly lost the tip of his finger. Surgeon did the business for him, so Ronan Curtis has only been out for a couple of weeks since that unfortunate incident.
He showed really good ability there, didn't he, McGeady? I just wonder though, could he have delivered that ball? Nathan Thompson went with him all the way, but he's a real bag of tricks. The two Sunderland wingers have been electric so far. Liz
O'Neill for Sunderland, the right back, plays the ball infield to Lewis Morgan, who approaches the edge of the area. Infield to McGeady at the edge of the D. A little bit of trickery to try and work the ball into his left foot, but he couldn't get away from Matt Clark. And now away goes Omar Bogle down the Portsmouth right. Rides a couple of challenges and then he's brought down by Jack Baldwin. Free kick to Portsmouth out on the right-hand side, approaching the edge of the penalty area. 0-0.
Oh, brilliant play there from Bogle. Just carried aside up the pitch. He was isolated. He had to spend time on the ball, ducked inside. To me, that was a yellow. We'll have to wait and see if Baldwin's got booked for that, but he's gone to ground, nowhere near the ball. Ledbetter in pursuit. Let's see. He's completely missed the ball. I mean, that should be a yellow for me.
Portsmouth 0, Sunderland 0 on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. 0-0 with 11.5 minutes gone, and a chance for Portsmouth to get the ball into the danger area. It's 3 or 4 yards in from the right-hand touchline and almost level with the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, Lee Brown, he's got really good delivery. Set-piece expert. Both these sides had Ledbetter for Sunderland, but Brown is equally as adept. And they got good height as well, Pompey.
Only a one-man wall just inside the 18-yard box. That's Aidan McGeady. Brown, a left-footed delivery for Portsmouth. In it comes floated up to the far post. It's Matt Clark gets up with a header, and it's well held under his crossbar by John McLaughlin for Sunderland. 0-0. Yeah,
Clark had to generate all the power himself there. Wasn't much on the ball. Comfortable take there. The McLaughlin goal.
So Sunderland bring the ball outside their own penalty area, and it's sent back by Tom Flanagan to John McLaughlin, the keeper. Came in for the semi-final, having allowed Robin Roy to the Dutchman to play up to that stage. Jack Ross came on as a sub in the League Cup final for Bradford here back in 2013 after a red card.
Well, when he gets the ball to Pete McLaughlin at set pieces, well, certainly from goal kicks, he doesn't really have much height up top.
Lovely skill, Lewis Morgan for Sunderland, in from the right-hand side, tries to curl a shot goalwards from 20 yards out, but couldn't wrap his foot round it. Christian Burgess was onto him like a flash to stop him wrapping that left foot around the shot, but that was a lovely jinking run from the man on loan from Celtic. 0-0.
Well, you can see his intention. Again, he's looked so bright though, cutting inside. He's got lovely little feet. Just needed to wrap his foot around it, as you say, bend it into that far corner. But they don't really possess the same height that Portsmouth do. Portsmouth, when they get it from goal kicks, they'll be kicking long. The likes of Bogle expected to win the flick on, as he is here.
And he loses that to Jack Baldwin in that occasion, Portsmouth Omar Bogle.
But Sunderland don't really have that, so they've got to try a little bit harder, keep the ball on the deck.
Honeyman can't get away from his man, but it's broken for Sunderland. And it's brought in field, and Lewis Morgan picks it up again, 30 yards out, steps away from Lee Brown, tries to drive with his right foot, it takes a deflection and goes over the bar. He had McGilvery flailing with his left arm above his head, but Sunderland do have a corner away to our right. 0-0.
Oh, that man Morgan again, faked to shoot with his left foot this time because he'd just done it previously. That shows really intelligent wing play. Then ducked onto his right hand side, little deflection over the bar. Excellent wing play from Morgan. He's been so bright.
Ledbetter again with the corner kick, but this time from the near side, on our side, the tunnel side of the stadium. Ledbetter, right-footed, out-swinging corner for Sunderland. Onto around the 6-yard line, well-headed clear from Portsmouth. Driven back in by Honeyman into a forest of players, but nobody can get a touch on either side, and it goes behind for a goal kick to Pompey. 0-0.
What a header that was. I think it was Lee Brown. Flanagan or Baldwin, one of them looked like he's going to get a free header. Lee Brown just got there just in front. Yeah, what a terrific header. Great clearance.
McGilvery spots the ball down for the goal kick. Drives it for Portsmouth. Downfield. Down the centre. Bogle goes up to win the flick on it. He gets the flick on, but nobody able to run in behind him. It went straight to Flanagan, but a slightly skewed clearance from the Sunderland centre-half just drifts out to play on the far side of the field for a Portsmouth throw. 0-0.
Well, that's much better from Bogle. He won the first couple of flick-ons, then lost the next one or two, but that time he was on the money. But then you got the likes of Lowe and Ronan Curtis have to be gambling on the inside of their full-backs. Can't be caught on their heels as they were there. They've got to pick up that second ball.
Now Portsmouth make a bit of a Horlicks of the throwing routine on the far side of the field, so it's a chance for Sunderland to win possession back.
It's a slow start, isn't it, from Pompey? I mean, I saw them at Shrewsbury. They were slow as well in the first half there. Picked the tempo up in the second half, but some way behind Sunderland here.
Oh, lovely spin down the left-hand side from Will Grigg, but across came Matt Clark, the centre-half, to stop him getting to the byline and whipping a cross in. No-nonsense clearance from the Portsmouth centre-half. It's a Sunderland throw. 0-0 on TalkSport 2. 15 minutes gone at Wembley in the Checkatrade Trophy final. Substitutes on both sides being asked to go out and warm up by their respective coaching staff, whilst Kenny Jackett and Jack Ross both at the edge of the technical areas. Cross comes in looking for Lewis Morgan. Couldn't get a true swipe on the shot. Lee Brown gets it clear, but Sunderland have it back. Tidied up by Ledbetter. Out to the left-hand side for McGeady. Neat ball in field. And taken away for Sunderland by Reece James, but it's gone out of play. And Sunderland make a bit of a mess of it. trying to keep possession on that far side of the field.
Well, they needed to come out the opposite side there. Took too long trying to work their way down the left. Catamol was free on the right-hand side.
Thumped away by Jack Baldwin. Well controlled on the halfway line by George Honeyman. Lays it off to Aidan McGeady, who's moved into the Portsmouth half. Steps away from Tom Naylor and looks back out to the left-hand side. Good run down the left-hand side from McGeady. Receives the ball back, but can he keep it in play? He can't. He thought he'd won a corner off Tom Naylor, but it ends up being a goal kick for Portsmouth. David Connolly's alongside us, who knows what it takes to win this trophy.
Yeah, a good few years now, though, with Southampton. I think 2010 it was. A really good occasion. Beat Carlisle here. Had some difficult games on the way as well. Torquay, I think we're 2-0 down. Had to come back 2-2 and win on penalties on a wet Tuesday night. And you sort of think, what's this all about? When it ends in a day like today, you think, oh yeah, it was worth it. We had a good side, though, very good side. The likes of Lallana, Lambert, Schneidlin, Font. Really
Connolly.
good team.
Connolly.
Oh, well.
Don't forget him.
Yeah, he was a bit average, but...
Now, Will Grigg down the left-hand side for Sunderland. He's made the best of a slight mistake from a throw, bursting into the area. Good sliding challenge from Matt Clark. Hit the ball back against Grigg, and it deflected back through to McGilvery in the Portsmouth goal. 0-0.
Again, though, they look really good going forward, Sunderland. Really calm in possession. They've got more quality. Well, they've shown that so far anyway.
McGilvery will fire the ball right-footed downfield, straight onto the head of Tom Flanagan. This header goes straight to Christian Burgess, and Portsmouth try and build Ronan Curtis, who we've not seen much of in these opening minutes. Down the left for Portsmouth, finds Lee Brown on the overlap. Brown, dummied to cross, sends it back infield to Curtis, tries to step away from Lewis Morgan, but he's forced back into the middle of the Sunderland half. Squares it for Ben Close. Jamal Lowe's comes short to pick up possession. Lowe out to the right-hand side and Nathan Thompson. He plays a 1-2 with Ben Close, then steps away for a moment from Catamol. Good driving run from Nathan Thompson. In slides an excellent challenge from McGeady, but it is a Portsmouth throw, 5 yards from the corner flag. 0-0 on TalkSport 2.
That was a bit better from Pompey. They work the ball out to the left. As soon as Curtis gets it, he's a right footer. He wants to come inside. That's a trigger for Brown on the overlap.
Lowe can't smuggle the ball into the Sunderland penalty area. Headed out to the skipper George Honeyman, guides it down for Ledbetter. Now the left back Reece James flies the ball into the Portsmouth half, looking to get Grigg away, but Christian Burgess tidies up neatly. Had a bit of a wobble mid-season, Christian Burgess, when he was getting some criticism for some of his performances, but he's played through that, David, and he's back to his best when he was part of the promotion-winning team under Paul Cook.
That's right, absolutely. I mean, I guess he wouldn't be playing if it wasn't for Jack Whitmore's injury. Fingers crossed he's back fit soon. Another devastating blow. Another knee injury, really talented young player. But yeah, Burgess got the chance in the checker trade actually, and obviously now has kept his place. It was excellent last weekend.
Portsmouth in possession, 0-0 on TalkSport 2 in the checker trade trophy final. Matt Clark with his headband rampaging through the Sunderland midfield down the left-hand side, but his run comes to an end. Burgess, his fellow centre-half, has to head the ball away from Will Grigg. Thompson running back into his own half. He's put under pressure by Aidan McGeady, who could only toe poke the ball out in the end for a Portsmouth throw. Remember, Sunderland unbeaten in 16 in the league and won 4 of their last 6, but Portsmouth are in much better form as well, having won 4 of their last 5. They were top of Sky Bet League 1 for an awfully long time, Portsmouth, but slipped up post-New Year. But they're still in with a chance of automatic promotion. Here's Lewis Morgan now popping up in the inside left channel for Sunderland, gets to the left-hand corner of the box, tries a right-footed shot that might have taken a slight deflection off Burgess to take some of the sting out of the shot, and it was a comfortable save straight at him for Craig McGilvery. 0-0.
Again, you can see what he's trying to do this time with his right foot, trying to bend it into the opposite corner. Didn't quite get enough on it. It's going to take something special, I think, to beat McGilvery from that sort of distance. But again, he's looked so bright. 2 wingers for Sunderland have been excellent so far.
Portsmouth 0, Sunderland 0. 20 minutes gone on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL, and more EFL coverage to come in the week. More on that in a moment, because here's Lee Brown. Good ball infield to Curtis, left-hand corner of the area. Thought about a right-footed drive, but it shanked off the outside of his right boot and went well wide for a Sunderland goal kick. Stays goalless.
Well, you can see that move again. Once Curtis comes inside, that's a trigger for Brown to go on the overlap. This time he cut it back to Curtis. Similar sort of area to Morgan. He's gone with his laces this time and just skewed it horribly wide. It's a hard skill, that one, almost Ronaldo-esque. going for a straight lace type finish. Got to get it on the money to go on target. That one was horribly wide. He actually could have slipped Pittman in.
Instead it's a goal kick to Sunderland to be taken by McLaughlin. Right-footed into the centre circle, helped on by Aidan McGeady. Grigg can't get the better of Christian Burgess. Chested down though by Lee Cattermole, but then a slight mistake from McGeady allows Curtis to bring the ball away for Portsmouth. Coming in field from the left-hand side, McGeady looks to put his arm in the back. Nothing given, says the referee, and away comes Sunderland. It's Reece James up to the halfway line. Grigg has to help it back to Baldwin. Did that look like a foul to you, David Connolly, by McGeady on Curtis?
Well, he just eased him out of it. I'm not too sure if it was... Look, he put a little bit of pressure on. Maybe Curtis had gone down slightly too easily for me, but good reaction though from McGeady when he lost the ball.
McLaughlin again in the Sunderland penalty area, the keeper. Dummies to send the ball out to the left-hand side of the box, but then fires it down the centre of the field. It's an easy header clear for Christian Burgess. He finds Omar Bogle, big thick sex striker up front for Portsmouth. He's dropped deep to win the ball here. Lowe's actually playing in the centre forward position at the moment for Portsmouth. There's Burgess, brings the ball up to the halfway line, assisted by Nathan Thompson. Now Tom Naylor sends a long ball downfield where Bogle's back in position up front, but he can't win that. Baldwin easily gets the better of him. 0-0 it stays, and Sunderland look neat and tidy at the back.
Well, they do. I mean, look, when both sides go long, if their front man isn't going to retain it, which sometimes it's just a hit and hope, then they've got to pick up the second ball. Sunderland that time counter Baldwin, rather than head it clear as Pompey do, he found his teammate. Really smart play.
Luke O'Neill works the ball out to the left-hand side for Sunderland as they attack the end. Away to our right, McGeady gets the better of Nathan Thompson. Now looking to take on Tom Naylor, who brings him down. Free kick down the left-hand side of the penalty area to Sunderland. 0-0, and a chance for Sunderland to load the box as Naylor went in too strongly on Aidan McGeady.
Oh, the two wingers for Sunderland have been sensational. This time McGeady's on the ball, skips past Thompson, then draws another foul right on the edge of the box. Superb wing play. It's in a really good position. Ledbetter will be on this, he'll fancy it.
Well, it's about 8 or 9 yards down the left-hand side of the penalty area for Sunderland. And Ledbetter is spotting the ball down. The old shaving foam's been applied by the referee. And now he's going to mark out the 10 yards. And Jamal Lowe's going to be the one player that's going to stand in front of this free kick. And he's now been shown where to stand by the vanishing spray. So we wait to see what Grant Ledbetter can conjure up for Sunderland with this free kick, with 24 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Right-footed in-swinger from Ledbetter into the near post and flicked over the crossbar for a corner kick. It may well have been Bogle at the near post who got the final touch to take it over the bar. It's a corner to Sunderland anyway.
Yeah, it's Tom Naylor there. Great little flick. Just took it off the head of a Sunderland man. It's a really good area. I wonder what is he going to do here. Basically, just got to go for goal. Put as much pace in it as you can. McGilvray came for that. There was no way he was going to get it.
And so Ledbetter's come across to this near side. The Sunderland right to take the resulting corner kick. A right-footed outswinger. Lots of movement around the penalty spot. And it's headed away by Ben Close. Honeyman sends the ball back to Reece James, just ahead of the halfway line. Good ball out to the left-hand side where Jack Baldwin's out there. Good ball into the box, and that forced Lee Brown to put the ball over the crossbar. Very awkward clearance from Lee Brown, and Sunderland have another corner kick. 0-0.
That was a brilliant ball in from Baldwin. Just let the ball run across himself. First time delivery. Portsmouth didn't expect it. Good clearance though from Lee Brown.
So Ledbetter, who's really putting the miles in already. Right, left. He's taking corners from either side of the field.
I just wondered, are they going to have to do something different? Because Portsmouth have got good height. They deal with most things in the air.
Right-footed in-swinger from Grant Ledbetter for Sunderland into the near post, comfortably headed clear by Pittman. Honeyman tries to toe-poke the ball back into the Sunderland box, but it's away by Omar Bogle. Reece James would just let it drift out of play for a throw. 25 minutes gone. TalkSport 2 supports the work of Prostate Cancer UK. Visit prostatecanceruk.org/football to find out how you can help, and together we can stop prostate cancer killing a man every 45 minutes.
Well, they've got to do something different to me on these set pieces, Sunderland. Maybe work it short, just to move the Portsmouth players around. At the minute, sort of landed a giant when you deliver a ball in there.
Proper old centre-half's clearance from Matt Clark there really put his foot through it and hoofed it out into the Sunderland support on the far side of the field from us. So the Black Cats have a throw.
Well, I think that's where they've fallen down so far, Portsmouth. Sunderland just seem to take their time in possession when they get it at the back.
McLaughlin in possession, the goalkeeper for Sunderland, is going to get it back from Tom Flanagan. Thought about striking it downfield first time, but he takes the touch instead. It drifts out to this near side. O'Neill gets a good header ahead of close, and now Lewis Morgan, who's had an excellent opening quarter for Sunderland, advancing down the right, looking to take on Lee Brown. He's one-on-one with Brown. Gets towards the corner flag, checks back onto his left and sends a ball into the near post. It's headed up in the air by Clark. Almost dropped for Honeyman on 6 yards. Burgess toe poked it away. Tidied up by Ledbetter to send back into his own half for Jack Baldwin. Baldwin finds Lee Cattermole running back towards the halfway line. Immediately looks for Ledbetter. Good football along the floor from Sunderland here. McGeady infield to Lewis Morgan. Morgan's got Reece James on the overlap left hand side. Here is Reece James. Good first time cross in. Headed away by Ronan Curtis, back doing his defending, and Pittman tries to nod it down for Bogle, but in steps Tom Flanagan, who's clipped by Ronan Curtis. Free kick Sunderland, 0-0.
A really good spell here for Sunderland, but to me, when they are making these really good moves, I mean, Morgan's coming on the inside, he's overloading the Portsmouth midfield, but then Cattermole's got to make the box, otherwise they don't have enough players in there. Not for the first time. It's a brilliant ball in, but there's no one on the end of it.
Sunderland in the ascendancy, but it stays 0-0 on TalkSport 2 with 27 minutes played in front of 80,000 plus at Wembley Stadium in this Checkatrade Trophy final. And Grant Ledbetter again over the set piece, this one midway point of the half, just to the right of centre. Right-footed delivery, the heads go up at the far post. It was Burgess again who got the important touch. Stays in play on the far side of the field, the left, and McGeady up against Nathan Thompson, whips a right-footed ball in, comfortably defended at the near post by Tom Naylor, and then looks up, sizes up his options and floats the ball downfield, but again, no blue Portsmouth shirt there to tidy up, and it's won back by Sunderland, and it's George Honeyman running through a couple of challenges, couldn't quite beat the challenge of Tom Naylor in the end, and Jamal Lowe in the end can't advance too far down the right hand side. Sunderland put it out for a throw.
But again you can see the difference with Sunderland when the ball comes to Baldwin, rather than head it clear, he finds his teammate, that time Reece James, with a nice little cushioned header, so they retain possession. Really good play here. I've been so impressed by Sunderland, I've got to say. Superstar. Half time at the Cardiff City Stadium is 0-0 between Cardiff City and Chelsea. That's live on Talk Sport this afternoon for your choice of listening. In the Checkatrade Trophy here at Wembley in the final, Will Griggs away for Sunderland, left hand corner of the area, plays the ball back to Cattermole with his back to goal, look to his left to try and play in Lewis Morgan, but Ben Close intercepted, but his ball over the top is way too far ahead of Omar Bogle. And it's the Sunderland fans who you can hear amongst the 80,000 making the most noise, because they're the most encouraged. Absolutely. Such a confident start here. Now the captain, Honeyman, lays the ball off for Luke O'Neill. Down the right-hand side, faced up by Lee Brown. He's got Curtis trying to help him out as well, Brown. But O'Neill just tucks the ball back 10 yards or so to Ledbetter. Now he's taken the game down to a standstill, O'Neill. Now brings the ball in from the right-hand touchline. Finds Lee Cattermole in plenty of space in the centre circle. Baldwin works it out to Reece James on the left-hand side for the Black Cats. Now another good ball from Cattermole to pick out McGeady. McGeady in the centre of the half, feeds it to his right and Honeyman. He lays it off for Lewis Morgan. O'Neill moving up on the right-hand side. Honeyman drifts down that right-hand side on the overlap. Looks to get a cross in for a corner. It's better defending from Lee Brown, but it is a throw to Sunderland right by the corner flag, 0-0. Again, really good play, but what was better that time, actually, when the play was on the right, I was looking at Lee Cattermole. Is he going to make the box? And he did that time. He's got to do that. I mean, Ledbetter there gives him licence to get forward. I think if they're a bit braver here, Sunderland, they could maybe commit a couple more bodies in the box. Certainly Cattermole's one of them. O'Neill with the throw in for Sunderland, right by the corner flag on this near side, the Sunderland right. In it comes from O'Neill, and it's tidied up by Lewis Morgan, drifting down the right hand side of the box, tries to fire it across, and then a foul was that on Honeyman by Curtis. It was. Both players have gone down in a heap, but the decision's gone Sunderland's way. Free kick down the right hand side of the box this time. Well, he's holding his face here, Curtis. I mean, I don't know if there was a clash, a coming together of some sort. Looks to be struggling. Well, as we mentioned, he had a hand injury that kept him out for a couple of weeks.
He's getting back to his feet anyway. He's going to be okay. No need for either physio to come on, because Honeyman's up too. So it'll be a free kick for Sunderland down the right-hand side of the box. 0-0 in the Checkatrade Trophy final. We've played just over half an hour. And a yellow card for Ronan Curtis. That's the round of applause you heard from the Sunderland fans around us as Curtis got the first yellow of the game.
I think he deserved, to be honest. It was a late tackle on O'Neill.
So Grant Ledbetter will have the free kick down the right-hand side of the box for Sunderland. Plenty in the box. One or two lurking at the edge of the area, like McGeady. Just a one-man wall, which is Curtis. Ledbetter stands over the ball. Referee moves away. Another chance for Sunderland with a set piece here at Wembley, with a score at 0-0. Ledbetter's right-footed ball deep to the far post, headed behind by Burgess. He knew he had Sunderland players coming in behind him, so he had to put it behind. It's another corner to Sunderland away to our right, 0-0.
Well, he had to loft it there because he knows if it's dropped short, they'll easily deal with it, Portsmouth. That time he aimed for the back post. Burgess with a really good header clear. But again, it's more pressure. It's relentless at the minute. They've soaked it up well, though, so far, Pompey.
Now there's 4 Sunderland players now standing at the left-hand corner of the penalty area as Ledbetter spots the ball down in the quadrant. Very unusual position for them to be. Now they all make a run from left to right. One stays short in Morgan, picks the ball up left-hand corner of the area, sends the ball in, it's headed out, but only as far as Ledbetter. Now McGeady looking to take on Jamal Lowe, left-hand side of the area. Rolling his foot on the ball a couple of times, trying to make the space for a cross. He's got a cross in, headed clear though by Curtis, fired back in, and brilliant save by McGilvery. Honeyman it was, I think, who had the effort. In fact, it was Lewis Morgan who had the right-footed strike, and McGilvery kept it out. Sunderland fans make even more noise now as they come forward again. Here is Lewis Morgan, who just had that effort, tries another one, nowhere near as good as the previous one, screws it 5 or 6 yards wide. Goal kick to Portsmouth, who are in a way, David Connolly, although that's the first save that McGilvery's really had to make. They're hanging on here.
They are. I mean, that man Morgan has been superb so far. Picks it up on the edge of the box, tries the volley. I mean, that's the sort of confidence he's displaying here. Header cleared right to the edge, takes it on the full, good strike. It was straight at the goalkeeper McGilvery, but still, he had to make the save. He done that, but again, a really good start. They've been excellent so far, Sunderland.
Scored his first goal for Sunderland in the semi-final against Bristol Rovers, Lewis Morgan, having arrived on loan from Celtic, who've won the Old Firm derby this lunchtime, beating Rangers by 2-1. Another red card for Morelos, and another quiet afternoon in the Old Firm, I'm sure. More reaction to that, of course, here on TalkSport 2 with all the headline makers. But in the Checkatrade Trophy final, we've got just over 10 minutes to the break. Morgan for Sunderland into the edge of the area, but Clark went to ground and won a vital challenge when it looked for all the world that Morgan was going to twinkle-toe his way into the Portsmouth penalty area. Honeyman, the skipper for Sunderland, works the ball back into his own half, and Ledbetter faced up by Pittman. So much of the play, David Connolly, has been away to our right-hand side in that half of the field.
Yeah, they just camped in, Portsmouth. They can't get out. Been so dominant here, Sunderland, in the first 35 minutes. Can they make one of these chances count? Certainly their possession play has been really good.
Clark with a header clear, and it'll bounce away and out for a throw in. Portsmouth 0, Sunderland 0 on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Remember, Mark Saggers and Sunday Exclusive will keep you updated regularly from the Cardiff City Stadium in the second half if you want to find out how Cardiff and Chelsea are getting on. I'll give you any goal flashes from that game as they come in. It's 0-0 at half-time there in the Welsh capital. Here in the English capital at Wembley Stadium, deadlocked at 0-0, but Sunderland enjoying far better share of territory possession and half chances against Portsmouth, who are trying to build inside their own half. Ronan Curtis can't find a teammate on the left-hand side, headed it infield to nobody in particular, picked up by Catamol, and Sunderland have it back in the sunshine. It's Luke O'Neill working the ball infield. Ledbetter in a bit of space, just keeps the ball away from Close. Now gets it back in the centre circle and looks for George Honeyman, the skipper. Working it out to this near side, the Sunderland right, and O'Neill. Honeyman felt he was fouled off the ball, but he's got to his feet and picked the ball up in space inside right. gets to the right-hand corner of the penalty area and then plays it infield to Morgan. Morgan's, though, crowded out by a couple of blue shirts. Shout of man on as Grant Ledbetter sees Omar Bogle thundering in his back and turns away. McGeady gets away from Burgess and then he's brought down by Nathan Thompson at the edge of the penalty area. Yellow card for Nathan Thompson for the foul, and a prime position for a direct strike on goal for a Sunderland free kick here.
Well, he had 40,000 there screaming at him. Ledbetter man on. Brilliant. Worked the opening to McGeady. Again, super feet. I mean, we spoke about him at the start. Still, what was he, 250 grand? Absolute bargain. It's been sensational. Lovely little step over. He loves that one. Got past Burgess, then Thompson goes to ground. It's in a really good area, about 4 yards outside the box.
There's a bit of a mother's meeting about who's going to strike this. A number of Sunderland players standing over it. Nathan Thompson's the second Portsmouth player to go into Dean Whitestone's notebook. And it may well be McGeady who fancies this himself.
Is it one of them like kids football? I get fouled, I take it.
There's the law of the training ground writ large. Ledbetter standing shielding the ball.
I just wonder, is he going to knock this to the side? Just try and get around that wall somehow. It's a big wall, you see. You try and go over it direct.
It is a big wall.
It's got to be something special, but maybe he's going for it direct.
Clark and Burgess and Bogle all in that wall. But McGeady's the only one standing over the ball for Sunderland. Right-footed effort coming from the former Everton man. McGilvery waits on his goal line. Catamol makes a run. Here's the free kick! McGeady scores for Sunderland! The Black Cats hit the front, a deflection off the wall, took it away from McGilvery's right hand, and Aidan McGeady makes it Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0 in the Checkatrade Trophy final.
Well, McGeady's been the main man here. Him and Morgan have been magnificent for Sunderland. They got the goal their play deserves. Terrific free kick. Did take a slight nick off the wall. It might have been Omar Bogle, actually. They jumped, took a slight deflection. It might have gone past McGilvery anyway. But still, they thoroughly deserved that. He lined it up. I think it was a combination, maybe Clark or Bogle. Just took a slight nick off them. McGilvery, no chance. Thoroughly deserved that, Sunderland. They've been superb.
Aidan McGeady, who's the League One Player of the Month for February, scored 4 goals last month. Now scores at Wembley. And it's a totally deserved lead with just under 7 minutes of this first half to go, and Portsmouth have now got to try and respond. They've offered very little in their attacking third. Aidan McGeady has made the difference. He was brought down, he stood up, dusted himself down and scored the free kick.
Hey, so nothing wrong with kids football, is there? I get fouled, I'll take it.
He's won a free kick as well, McGeady, inside his own half, and the noise has just gone up a notch from the red and white hordes away to our left.
I mean, there's something in that. I've got to be honest, the reason is I was at a kids game this morning with my son, and we had that rule. If you get fouled, you take it. Now, look, Ledbetter's been on everything, basically, but McGeady showed great skill. He won it. I'm sure he said to him, look, can I have this one? Yeah, go on then. And he scored. Brilliant.
Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0 in the Checkatrade Trophy final. Just over 5 to the break. On your home of the EFL, with more live games to come in midweek. Here is McGeady, the goal scorer. Down the left-hand side, up against Tom Naylor. We're going to work the angle for a cross. Checks back onto his right foot. Naylor still there with him. Back onto his right foot. Good ball into the near post, but it's straight into the grateful arms of Craig McGilvery in the Portsmouth goal. 1-0 Sunderland.
Oh, look, he's got that step over in the bag. This time he's doing it left foot onto his right. I mean, look, we've seen it for years, but so difficult to stop. Got the work cut out now. Thompson. Curtis booked. If I was them, Sunday, I'll be giving the ball to Aidan McGeady at every opportunity. Go on, just take Thompson on. Maybe get another booking. Burgess
looking long down the Portsmouth right for Bogle, who uses his physical frame to knock Reece James out of the way. He's won a throw as well, Bogle. Nothing wrong with the challenge, it was shoulder to shoulder. And Portsmouth take the throw quickly. Bogle down the inside right channel, 2 to aim at in the area, clips it to the far post looking for Curtis, headed up in the air by O'Neill. Curtis goes outside the area. Now can Lee Brown keep it in? No, he can't. Ball's gone out of play for a Sunderland goal kick away to our left-hand side, and the Portsmouth fans away to our right, who were waving the blue and white flags as the teams came out of the tunnel, making a wonderful splash of colour. They've been sitting on their hands for the past 10 minutes or so. 1-0 to Sunderland, and 1-0 to Cardiff against Chelsea at the Cardiff City Stadium. Victor Camarasa has given Neil Warnock's side the lead against Chelsea. Regular updates on that game with Saggers and the Sunday exclusive team, but that's a massive goal at the bottom of the Premier League. Massive. After wins for Sunderland and for Southampton and Crystal Palace and Burnley yesterday, Cardiff had to respond, and they've done that. Portsmouth throw down the left-hand side, thumped out of play by Tom Flanagan. What a noise the Sunderland fans are making at the moment. Down to Portsmouth to try and respond. They've got 3 minutes of this first half to try and find something to give their supporters some comfort at half-time, but it's 1-0 to Sunderland. Throw in for Portsmouth, 10 yards from the corner flag, left-hand side. Brown throws it in, given away needlessly by Ben Close. Cleared away by Sunderland, but only as far as Clark, who heads the ball in field. It's well won by Lee Cattermole, taking the ball on the bounce and heading it clear. Ronan Curtis heads the ball down low, helps it across to Bogle. Bogle at the edge of the D, can't get past Reece James. Good defending by the Sunderland left back, and he just decides to clear his lines and get the ball out for a Portsmouth throw just on the halfway line. 1-0 Sunderland. Nathan Thompson forced to take the throw a bit further back from where he wanted. Tries to ride the challenge of Cattermole, who's won it off him. One of two players on a yellow card already for Portsmouth, Ronan Curtis being the other. Will Grigg gets a flick on, tries to chase onto his own flick, because there's nobody in front of him in a red and white shirt. Thumped downfield by McGilvery for Portsmouth, picked up by Bogle. Just over the halfway line, good ball in field to Pittman. We've seen so little of Brett Pittman, the skipper, in this opening half. I barely said his name, David Connolly.
Yeah, he has been isolated. I mean, just because they haven't really had the ball, Portsmouth. Sunderland have been dominant in possession. Been so impressed with them. Really calm. They've got that quality and assuredness about their play. Happy to take it in. Look at this from Tom Flanagan.
Steps away from his man and finds Lewis Morgan, and the Celtic loanee running towards the edge of the D. Flanagan stayed forward, rolls the ball out to the near side of Sunderland right, and O'Neill looking to take on his man. Curtis brings him down, does he? No. Referee says play on. Nothing wrong with Curtis's challenge. Just fires it over the top, asking Bogle to give chase, but it's going to drift out of play on this near side instead, and the boos go up from the Black Cat contingent, feeling that O'Neill was brought down by Curtis.
Oh, he was, certainly. That should have been a free kick. But then look, when they get the ball back there, Pompey, I mean, they just give a hopeful ball forward to Bogle, just run straight out of play, and that's where they've got to do better. Can they settle down when they win that ball back, get it for a pass or two, keep possession, show a bit of composure.
Throw into Sunderland as we tick round towards added time at the end of this first half on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. Middlesbrough against Bristol City, live on Tuesday night from the Riverside Stadium, both sides bubbling under the Championship playoff zone after the weekend's results. And then we're back with Sunderland on Wednesday night as they go to the Wham Stadium to take on struggling Accrington Stanley. Both nights we get underway with our live coverage at 6 p.m. on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. 1 minute of added time is what we're going into now in this first half of the Checkatrade Trophy final, with Sunderland a goal up on Portsmouth. Nathan Thompson of Portsmouth forced back into his own half by McGeady, just gave him a little nibble from behind, and a free kick quickly awarded and quickly taken by Portsmouth. Looking to send it out to the left-hand side for Ronan Curtis, but that was good defending from Luke O'Neill, and Sunderland tidily bring the ball up towards the halfway line. But then given away by McGeady, the goal scorer, to Thompson. Ball's worked in field, but Jamal Lowe couldn't take it with him, and George Honeyman just launches it downfield looking for Will Grigg. Burgess with not the most convincing first touch, but a better second touch, and it's won back by Ben Close. Worked out to this near side, and Lee Brown. Not much time for Portsmouth at the end of this first half. Only 20 seconds of the minimum 1 minute left as Clark drives towards the halfway line from centre half, and he's being fouled by Honeyman. So right at the end of this first half, it will be a free kick and a chance for Portsmouth to get a few bodies forward, but Sunderland holding quite a high line midway point of their own half, as the kick is taken short. Ben Close will bring it forward. Referee looks at his watch and brings the first half to a close, and it's the Sunderland fans who you can hear roaring around the left-hand side as I look around Wembley Stadium, because they have dominated the first 45 minutes against their League One opponents, Portsmouth, and they have the lead. Wonderful free kick from Aidan McGeady. He was fouled outside the box by Nathan Thompson, took the responsibility himself, a slight deflection off the wall, but the quality of the free kick was there for all to see, and Sunderland deservedly lead the Checkatrade Trophy final at half-time here at Wembley Stadium. Second half to come, live on TalkSport 2, but at the break, it's Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0. Thank you, Dan. Yep, no changes from either manager, so it's as you were for these two teams that, as David said just there, have already met just before Christmas at Fratton Park. It was 3-1 to Portsmouth that day. Glenn Lubins, who was playing at the back for Sunderland that day, was sent off for a foul on Ollie Hawkins, which led to Gareth Evans' penalty to open the scoring. Curtis and Thompson, the other goal scorers that day for Pompey, and O'Neill got the consolation for the Black Cats, and they are due to meet again on the penultimate Saturday of the season at the Stadium of Light. Where will their respective seasons be league-wise is open to question, but Sunderland 45 minutes away from the Checkatrade Trophy as we get the second half underway on TalkSport 2. Sunderland wearing their traditional strip of red and white stripes, black shorts and red socks. Portsmouth in the blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. And I'll run through the lineups in just a moment as Portsmouth win an early free kick for a foul by the goal scorer, Aidan McGeady. And so Portsmouth have Craig McGilvery in goal, Nathan Thompson, Christian Burgess, Matt Clark and Lee Brown in a back four, Tom Naylor and Ben Close as defensive midfielders, Ronan Curtis, Brett Pittman, Jamal Lowe in behind Omar Bogle up front. And Sunderland, who are preparing to defend this free kick from inside Portsmouth half, have John McLaughlin in goal, Luke O'Neill, Tom Flanagan, Jack Baldwin and Rhys James in the back four, Lee Catamol and Grant Ledbetter in defensive midfield, then Lewis Morgan, George Honeyman and Aidan McGeady in behind Will Grigg up front. Bogle's just been bundled over for another Portsmouth free kick. This is much further down the field, midway point of the Sunderland half, as both sides now attacking the ends where their supporters are housed. The Portsmouth fans in the west stand away to our right hand side as we look from our commentary position behind the technical areas and the tunnel. Sunderland away to our left. Free kick for Portsmouth, David Connolly.
There's a foul there from Flanagan, and this is where you actually can see Portsmouth getting back in the game. Set pieces, they've got really good height and delivery.
Brown with the delivery, actually rolls it down the left hand side of the box for Ronan Curtis, who gives it back to Brown, who's further out by the touchline. Now he drifts the ball into the area. Burgess goes up with the header, drops at the edge of the box, is only half cleared. Jamal Lowe tries to send it goalwards, deflects out to the right hand side of the box, and Bogle has to go out towards the touchline to collect the ball and get it under control. Down by the corner flag, has he won a corner? He has. Took a touch off the defender and went behind off Rhys James, or was it Luke O'Neill? It was Luke O'Neill actually down there defending in the left back position. And Portsmouth have a corner early in the second half, but Sunderland lead 1-0.
Yeah, good bit of sustained pressure here, as you say, kicking into their home fans.
Lee Brown with the delivery. Clark's made a run to the near post, gone beyond him. At the far post it was Bogle, and he hit the post and it came back out, and it's claimed by the goalkeeper, and Bogle goes close early in the second half. There was a defender on the line if he got it inside the post, but he was unmarked there, Omar Bogle.
He was. I mean, the referee here in Whitestone's giving a push. I didn't see too much in that. I don't know who it was on. Maybe it was on the goalkeeper. We'll have to see it again. Oh, Bogle, possibly, yeah, a slight nudge, but McLaughlin missed it. And that is one area, as I say, I think they could get back in the game, Portsmouth. They've got good height of set pieces, also good delivery. Got to be careful, can't give away too many fouls, Sunderland.
It is just a goal kick that's been given. The ball's been spotted at the edge of the 6-yard box by Joe McLaughlin. Joe McLaughlin sends the ball down the right-hand side, flicked on the halfway line by O'Neill, but it will go out of play for a Portsmouth throw. Both these managers have over a 50% win rate at these clubs. Kenny Jackett's at 51%. Jack Ross, of course, in his first season at Sunderland, 54%. Very impressive from both men at their clubs, but all the impressive stuff has come from Sunderland this afternoon so far in this Checkatrade Trophy final on TalkSport, where we played 3.5 minutes after the restart. McGeady does brilliantly to keep the ball in play on this near side from a crossfield pass.
I mean, the control was one thing, but just before that, I don't know if you saw the run, so he showed short to Grant Ledbetter, sucked Thompson in, then ran in behind, and obviously then gets on the end. Everyone looks at the touch, but no one really sees the run. Super wing play.
That's me told. Out on the right-hand side, Will Grigg for Sunderland, trying to roll Matt Clark. He's going to let the ball drift down towards the corner flag and then clear, but it would have been a corner had he not cleared it downfield, so he's had to put it out for throw instead. 1-0 Sunderland.
See, you can look at the ball, but I can look obviously around the ball, you see. That's why I'm here.
I say what's happening, you say why.
That's right.
1-0 to Sunderland on TalkSport 2.
It works quite well though, doesn't it?
We have our moments. Throw in for O'Neill down the right-hand side, gets it back from Lewis Morgan, level with the edge of the penalty area. Now Ledbetter under pressure, has to go back to the halfway line. Ben Close putting him under severe pressure. He's done really well actually, Ben Close, and Portsmouth can break. Ronan Curtis now driving through the centre of the field. What a challenge from Lee Cattermole to win the ball back. Vital challenge, and he made it to perfection.
Oh, we've seen that a couple of times now, haven't we? Timing those sliding challenges. Look, he doesn't maybe have the pace to keep running with people, but he can certainly go to ground and win the ball well.
Now Will Grigg trying to roll Christian Burgess right hand side of the penalty area, holds the ball up and feeds the ball back for Lewis Morgan. Morgan gives it back down the right hand side of the box. Griggs there again, tries to win a corner of Christian Burgess, can't quite do so. It's a throw instead to Sunderland down by the corner flag. Right hand side, 1-0 to the Black Cats. 5 minutes gone in this second half of the Checkatrade Trophy final in front of 80,000 plus at the National Stadium.
Also, just looking at Portsmouth, they might need to show a little bit more awareness at times when they do break, knowing that the likes of Cattermole and Ledbetter, they won't give up, they'll keep running. Morgan as well, they'll track back McGeady. Put an awful lot of work in, out of possession. David Connolly with us this afternoon, former Sunderland and Portsmouth striker, won the EFL trophy back in 2010 when he was a Southampton player. Now, Sunderland down the right-hand side of the penalty area with George Honeyman, the skipper. Manages to dig a cross out, but it's headed away by Matt Clark. Bogle holds the ball up midway point of his own half. Curtis tries to keep it in play. It's just not happening for Ronan Curtis so far this afternoon for Portsmouth. Playing out on the left-hand side. So often see him on the right of a three, but he's playing on the left with Lowe on the right. But for Ronan Curtis, just not quite dropping for him at the moment, David. No, not so far. Obviously he has had a spell out, we know that, in terms of his finger, so a big arse. I think he's had a couple of days training, but he's a big player for them, so I think Kenny will give him that little bit of time, see if he can come good.
So throwing to Portsmouth in their left back position. It's Sunderland substitutes that are warming up at the moment. No sign of any Pompey players being given last instructions. It's all Sunderland players who are going through the motions on the touchline in front of us. Bogle has conceded a free kick, a nudge on Lewis Morgan on the far side of the field, and our referee for the afternoon, Dean Whitestone, who handed out 2 red cards on the opening day of the season in a game involving Yeovil Town, has only given out 1 since, but he does have 2 players on a yellow card here today, both Portsmouth players, Thompson and Curtis. Free kick to Sunderland, a yard in from the right-hand touchline, midway point of the Portsmouth half. Ledbetter inevitably standing over this delivery into the box. Good delivery to around the penalty spot. It drops at the edge of the area and Close just turns and hammers it away downfield. It's one back for Sunderland by Reece James, trying to send it down the left-hand side for Cattermole, who made a little run down the wing, but he couldn't catch up with the ball before it went over the dead ball line. Portsmouth have a goal kick. 7.5 gone on TalkSport 2 in the second half. It's 1-0 to Sunderland. Well, it's a cold morning, but the sun has definitely come out, hasn't it? And it's staying out, so it might be quite challenging for the players out there. Well, there's not a breath of wind, so it's perfect for football in that sense. It is. Obviously half the stadium covered in shade, but this half here certainly in the sun. A lot of these fans as well. Looks like there is activity on the Portsmouth bench. It's Ellis Short as well here. Yes, he is the Sunderland previous owner. Did he pay for his ticket? Of course he did. Here's Jamal Lowe inside his own half. Sorry, Dan, but he done a great thing for Sunderland. Let me tell you, basically writing off 160 million. Yep.
Didn't work out for him, we know that. Obviously everyone has their own thoughts on why, but still.
And Stuart Donald starting the revolution, bringing in Jack Ross from St Mirren after they'd won promotion to the Scottish Premiership. Change being ready by Portsmouth as Jamal Lowe attacks down the right-hand side. He's in behind McGeady, checks back onto his left foot, plays an early cross into the near post, cleared away by Baldwin. Burgess does really well to send the ball back infield for Portsmouth. Here's Ben Close, just ahead of the centre circle. Plays the ball to his right, and Pittman though loses out to McGeady. McGeady with some lovely footwork inside his own half to keep the ball away from Brett Pittman.
Oh, super skill. I mean, he's worked so hard in and out of possession today, McGeady.
Now, Leadbitter, well, he could have released Reece James down the left-hand side. He was in acres of space, but didn't see him. Didn't get his head up, but Sunderland have retained possession. Gareth Evans is going to be on shortly for Portsmouth, but they have possession with Brett Pittman. Finds Lowe on the halfway line. Early ball out to this near side, the right for Omar Bogle. Lowe's continued his run, going on the underlap, if you will. Lovely ball across the face of goal from Lowe, and Curtis couldn't apply the finish. He was too far behind the cross. Goes out for a throw-in, does it? No, it's kept in play by O'Neill on the right-hand side, but Portsmouth win it back. Bit more encouragement for those wearing Pompey blue.
Absolutely. Look, certainly Lowe has come to life this second half. He's very quiet in the first, almost anonymous, but he can take you up the pitch. He is a real bag of tricks as well. That's a great ball across the box, but again, they only had one in the box, Pompey.
Here's Omar Bogle herring after the ball. Did he handle it at the edge of the area? He did, as he brought it under control. He hasn't heard the whistle, which is no great surprise. Neither has Jack Baldwin, as they both fight for possession inside the penalty area. It will be a free kick, and Ronan Curtis, his afternoon is done. He was only brought back into the starting lineup after that hand injury, forced him to miss a couple of games, but he's been pretty ineffective. And Gareth Evans, now a 30-something, scored 12 goals this season, including 3 in the Checkatrade Trophy. He gets his opportunity from the bench as a straight swap. David Connolly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he would have been really disappointed, Evans, not to have started the game. We spoke at half-time about possible changes. He was one we spoke of. It's a like for like. Looks like he's going out on that left-hand side.
Yep, Gareth Evans was the right back for most of the promotion season under Paul Cook, when Portsmouth came up from League Two, winning the title on the final day. Now he's reinvented again as a attacking midfielder. Plays as a number 10 as well when he gets the opportunity. He's all purpose for Kenny Jackett, and he's on for Ronan Curtis. Long ball downfield, trying to get Sunderland away through Lewis Morgan, but it's overhit for him. And so Portsmouth will have a goal kick. 10 minutes gone in the second half. You're listening to Portsmouth 0, Sunderland 1 in the Checkatrade Trophy final on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. McGilvery's goal kick downfield for Portsmouth. Another handball by Omar Bogle, his second in about a minute. Free kick to Sunderland. He's complaining that the ball took an odd bounce off the turf and it wasn't deliberate, but the referee's having none of it. Free kick Sunderland. A frustrating afternoon for Bogle. Ollie Hawkins is a striker available on the bench for Portsmouth. So too James Vaughan, once off Sunderland for something slightly different. Sunderland coming forward down the right with Will Grigg, hugging the right-hand touchline. He's won a throw under pressure from Christian Burgess and Matt Clark. So O'Neill will take the throw. One of the few Sunderland players who've played pretty much throughout this Checkatrade campaign, Luke O'Neill. Many of the bigger names like McGeady only came in for the semi-final stage against Bristol Rovers. Now Portsmouth bowl the ball out to Lee Brown in the left back position, gets up to the halfway line. He's sent the ball down the left hand side, wanting to release Bogle, but he was caught late by Lewis Morgan as he released the ball down that left hand channel, and the referee Dean Whitestone let play continue, but as there was no advantage, Portsmouth have themselves a free kick right on the touchline on the far left hand side of the field, maybe 10 yards inside the Sunderland half. 1-0 to the Black Cats on TalkSport 2. 13 gone in the second half. It's taken short. Brought forward by Ben Close. Clips the ball up to the edge of the area. Burgess heads it across the 18-yard line. Nodded out only as far as Ben Close again. Drifts out to the right-hand side, and Tom Naylor Naylor's cross for Portsmouth is going to be very comfortable for John McLaughlin. Stays 1-0 Sunderland.
Yeah, poor ball in, too close to McLaughlin from Naylor. I just wonder though whether Portsmouth would be better playing with a front two, going 4-4-2. You know, Pittman doesn't really look comfortable playing in that 10 role. I know he's doing a job for the team there, but certainly he'd rather be playing up front. And Bogle certainly, I think, would be happier with a partner. It would mean, I guess, they'd have to lose someone in midfield, and that's where against the likes of Ledbetter and maybe Catamol, you might be slightly vulnerable, but it just hasn't worked so far.
TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL at the Checkatrade Trophy final between Portsmouth and Sunderland. Sunderland a goal up as we approach the hour mark at Wembley. Cardiff still leading Chelsea by that Camarasa goal to nil. There's about 10 minutes or so to play at the Cardiff City Stadium. We'll keep you updated here on TalkSport 2 with how that finishes. And as I speak, Cesar Azpilicueta's just made it 1 apiece. Cardiff 1, Chelsea 1. Now Portsmouth coming forward down the left-hand side with Lee Brown. Works infield for Tom Naylor, who's got a bit of space just ahead of the centre circle to size up his options. Floats it out to this near side, and Jamal Lowe takes the ball on his chest. Right-footed ball along the floor, along the 6-yard line. Cleared away. Ben Thompson got the ball in the end. Lowe couldn't get there at the near post, and it's won back by Sunderland, and Ledbetter trying to release Lewis Morgan. Overhits the pass. And there's just a feeling, Davey Connolly, that Portsmouth are starting to force Sunderland back the other way a bit more.
They are, certainly. They've grown into this game, second half.
Long ball downfield from Gareth Evans, looking for Jamal Lowe, nods it down for Pittman. Pittman tries to drive, hits the post and comes out to the left-hand side of the box. Early hit from Brett Pittman, had McLaughlin beaten, but it smacks against the upright.
Sessuba's little strike, great little knock back from Lowe, bounced down in front of Pittman, just teed it up with his thigh, and then right foot laced it across goal, trying to get a little bit of bend on it, directed back towards goal, just nipped off the post. Really good strike.
Well, now the Portsmouth fans find their voice as Burgess chips the ball forward for the side from the south coast. It's headed away from Omar Bogle by Flanagan for a throw into Portsmouth. 1-0 to Sunderland, but this is the best spell that Portsmouth have had in the game without question. Thompson works the ball infield to Naylor. Now Evans picks the ball up, the substitute, finds Jamal Lowe. Lowe gets towards the edge of the area, flicks it to his right. Bogle's got Thompson on the outside of him, just outside the area. Bogle with a deep ball to the far post. O'Neill heads it half clear, but picked up by Lee Brown out on the left-hand side for Portsmouth. Now Ben Close works it infield to Gareth Evans. Back with a sensible pass for Tom Naylor to keep possession. Now it's Matt Clark, the centre-half, going down the left-hand side. Clipped in by Evans, headed away by Baldwin at the edge of his 6-yard box. Further help clear, but now it's Portsmouth winning all the second balls. Tom Naylor, inside left channel, releases Lee Brown down the left-hand side. Good ball in, looking for Bogle, headed away by Baldwin at the near post, and he had to get there because Bogle was right behind him if he hadn't got there. Really, and the ball's out for a Portsmouth throw. Sorry, David.
No, it's again really good defending from Baldwin. They're under an awful lot of pressure here, Sunderland. Can they soak this up? Good spell though in possession for Portsmouth.
Evans with a ball in for Portsmouth from the right foot, drops to the far post. Thompson over the bar. He was put under real pressure by McLaughlin as the ball drifted to the far post, and Nathan Thompson couldn't keep it down, and it goes out of play for a goal kick to Sunderland. But Portsmouth are now knocking on the door.
Oh, it's unlucky there. Thompson just ran off the back of Reece James. It was a flighted ball in. I think it was Evans. Little flick on. I think it might have been Baldwin or Flanagan got that touch. Directed it into the back post towards Thompson, but he couldn't keep the shot down.
Portsmouth 0, Sunderland 1, with just over an hour gone in the Checkatrade Trophy final. That roar you heard was the Sunderland fans trying to give fresh impetus to their side, because they can sense that Portsmouth are turning the screw here to try and get themselves back level in this final. Honeyman is surely offside. He is, from a ball sent downfield. Don't forget, TalkSport 2 supports the work of Prostate Cancer UK. You can visit prostatecanceruk.org/football to find out how you can help, and together we can stop prostate cancer killing a man every 45 minutes. 63 minutes gone at Wembley. 1-0 to Sunderland, but Portsmouth, who are having a much better second half, have Jamal Lowe in possession. Floats it down the right-hand side for Brett Pittman. Bulldog his way into the area. Lowe gets it back. Oh, he could have gone for goal himself, but he unselfishly squared it across, thinking that Bogle could slide it in. but it was too far ahead of Bogle and just dribbles behind for a Sunderland goal kick.
Oh, what an opportunity. I just wondered, I'm not too sure he does try to square it. I think he's actually going for goal here. Great little ball, I think, over the top. Pittman just ducks inside, finds its path into Jamal Lowe, and to me he's going across goal, but he just gets it horribly wrong. He almost side foots it like a pass, but he needs to put his laces through it.
Well, Pittman rode the ricochet, and then Lowe couldn't apply the finish. But more signs that Portsmouth are enjoying themselves a bit more here at the National Stadium.
That was a really good opportunity. I mean, if he laces that, yeah, he got a chance of maybe a deflection, but he's gone with his side foot, and it's always going away from goal down this right-hand side. Wrong choice. Gone with laces, would have had a real good chance.
Remember earlier today, Celtic 2, Rangers 1 in the Old Firm. Cardiff 1, Chelsea 1 at the moment in the Premier League. Liverpool and Tottenham kick off at 4:30. Remember, we've got more Dell Match Play golf for you tonight on TalkSport 2. And more EFL action in the week. Here's Lee Brown for Portsmouth, the left back, getting forward and putting O'Neill under pressure. Can he prevent the corner? He can, and finds McGeady, who's helping him out in the right back position. McGeady's clearance up to halfway, straight down the throat of Christian Burgess, but he runs into Will Grigg, who blocks the ball away. But Portsmouth have it back, and it's down the left hand side with Gareth Evans, who's won a throw. Tight to that left hand touchline he was there, Gareth Evans, but couldn't get past McGeady. And Chelsea are 2-1 up on Cardiff late on, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek has broken Cardiff hearts late on at the Cardiff City Stadium. Portsmouth win the ball back here at Wembley. 1-0 down to Sunderland. Naylor finds Brett Pittman, right-hand corner of the penalty area, drifts out to the right-hand side, thinks about putting a cross in, just nicks it infield to Jamal Lowe. Lowe sees Nathan Thompson moving up from right back, can't get the cross in, but he did force George Honeyman to put the ball out for a Portsmouth throw, just by the corner flag on this near side, the Pompey right.
What a response this has been, I tell you, from Portsmouth. Much better this second half.
Thompson now getting away down the right-hand side, forcing another clearance out for a throw. This time it was Reece James forced to slide in and put the ball clear. And Thompson will take this throw again. It was going to be Jamal Lowe that was going to take it, but he's left it for Thompson instead. It's gone in short to Ben Close, who thought Thompson was making a run down the inside right channel for a cross, but Thompson was caught on his heels, and it's had a play for a Sunderland goal kick. Portsmouth 0, Sunderland 1 on TalkSport 2.
Well, I've just seen Kenny Jackett there talk to Joe Gallen. They're going to make another change. Yeah, it could be Ollie Hawkins, I think. He's going for it. I mean, he's seen enough, Kenny. He knows they've got to capitalise now. They've had Sunderland pegged in. Got to do more with the ball in possession. Maybe Hawkins is the man. He can put his head on things. He's really difficult to stop. When the ball's in the air, can't defend against him. Give him good service, good delivery. He'll make it count.
Sunderland with a throw, meantime, on the far side of the field. Your home of the EFL, TalkSport 2. Don't forget Middlesbrough, Bristol City on Tuesday night, and Accrington against Sunderland. We'll be back with the Black Cats on Wednesday at the Wham Stadium. And Neil Redfern has the dubious privilege of having to work with me 2 nights in a row on TalkSport 2. Both nights we get underway at 6 p.m. with kick-off at 7:45 both nights. And the FA Cup semi-finals next weekend on TalkSport. We're back here at Wembley for Brighton Man City on Saturday tea time, and Watford Wolves on Sunday late afternoon. So Sunderland player stayed down injured. Is it Lewis Morgan that's down hurt? Well, it's Aidan McGeady actually who's picking himself up. Meantime, it's a free kick to Portsmouth. And Hawkins is ready to enter the fray for the last quarter of this game, David Connolly.
Yes, I just wonder, I think it might be maybe a midfielder that drops out. I'm not sure it'll be a like for like. Be surprised to see someone like Pittman come off, or you want to keep his sort of goals and experience on the pitch. I think Lowe has been electric this second half. He's looked really lively. Bogle's maybe been a bit quiet, but I think he needs a partner up there, but it might be a like for like. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, now that McGeady's actually had to get some treatment from the Sunderland physios, it's given a number of Portsmouth players a chance to come over to this near touchline and have a bit of a conflab with Kenny Jackett. Players like Thompson and Burgess and Naylor have come over for a chat. Hawkins waits, hands on hips at the edge of the technical area, and the change will presumably be made as soon as Kenny Jackett is ready. And it's Omar Bogle who's coming off. It's a straight swap, David. Cardiff Loney comes off. Ollie Hawkins comes on, so the formation presumably stays the same for Portsmouth.
I'd imagine so, but he's a little bit more adept in the air. Well, he is more, he's brilliant in the air, Hawkins. I mean, Bogle's found it difficult. He's big, he's strong, he's come in, joined on loan. He's going to be here if they do get to the playoffs, if not automatically. He has scored goals, but he's just found it a little bit difficult out there today.
Meantime, free kick for Portsmouth, just shy of the halfway line, trailing Sunderland by a goal to nil in this Checkatrade Trophy final on TalkSport 2. Hawkins gets an early touch to nod it to the edge of the area looking for Brett Pittman. Volleyed away by Tom Flanagan, knocked down by Nathan Thompson. Given back to him by James. In fact, the ball's gone out of play. Portsmouth thought they could scamper down the right-hand side, but the assistant showed that the ball had gone out of play from Reece James. Now Jamal Lowe with his back to play, works it back to Ben Close, tight to the touchline on this near side, the Portsmouth right. So he works it in field to Christian Burgess, and then Clark. Back in field to Gareth Evans, the first Pompey change this afternoon. Clark down the left-hand side for Brown, good ball. Infield for Gareth Evans, left-hand corner of the area, being shown inside, finds Ben Close. Close is looking for an option out wide, right or left, and Evans looks out wide for Nathan Thompson, the right back. Portsmouth still in possession then. Close, good first time ball into the area, headed clear strongly by Flanagan, and a chance for Sunderland to come away with it with Lewis Morgan, but he takes too heavy a touch inside his own half, and Portsmouth have it back again.
Well, first half they were retaining those sorts of balls, and Morgan was brilliant, but they've been really off the pace this second. I mean, I spoke to the analysts and they said that's as good as they played that first half. Maybe they've now regressed to the norm.
Brett Pittman in the right wing position for Portsmouth, sends a cross in looking for Hawkins. It's gone over his head. He claims he's having his shirt pulled by two Sunderland players around him, but the referee waves play on. Portsmouth still in possession. Out onto the left hand side, midway point of the half. Matt Clark faced up by Lee Catamol, just plays it in field to Gareth Evans, right-footed in-swinging cross over the head of Hawkins, headed clear by Lewis Morgan, back doing his defending under pressure from Thompson. Clark wins the ball back, does he? Oh, he's been dispossessed by Grigg, but Tom Naylor steps back into his own half to roll the ball back to his goalkeeper when Grigg thought he was away and clear.
He's unlucky there, Grigg, nearly got away with it. They're just camped in though now, Sunderland can't get out.
Portsmouth 0, Sunderland 1. And it's sent in by Brown from the left-hand side, looking for Hawkins, volleyed away by Sunderland. Portsmouth try and win it back through Close, but Catamol has possession for the Black Cats, and he's helped out by McGeady on that far side of the field. There's going to be a change for Sunderland in a minute, and Lyndon Gooch, the American's going to be on in the next couple of moments. Meantime, a lovely crossfield pass to pick out Reece James, who's got away from Jamal Lowe, driving in field. Good challenge, Nathan Thompson won the ball cleanly. Sunderland fans around us claiming that was a foul. Good challenge for me, that.
It was a really good. He had to time it well as well, because obviously he's on a booking. Don't know if he's struggling here, Reece James. Stay down.
Ball just stumped downfield by Tom Flanagan, deep into Portsmouth territory, so that Reece James can get some treatment, but that will allow the change to be made for this break in play. Might be just a bit of cramp for Reece James. He doesn't appear to need the physios to come on and give him the old magic sponge, and the change is being made, and it's Lewis Morgan that's coming off to allow Lyndon Gooch, born in California, travelled to Sunderland as a boy in his holidays when he was coming through the academy, signed an extension back in December for 3 years, and Chelsea have won in Cardiff by 2-1. That's a full-time score in the Premier League. Ruben Loftus-Cheek with a winning goal late on in South Wales.
Morgan had a brilliant first 45. He expended an awful lot of energy, faded somewhat in that second half. That's a good change, I think. Lyndon Gooch probably a little bit unfortunate not to start this game anyway. He's on the pitch now. Can he bring a fresh impetus to this side, Sunderland side? They just haven't got going in the second half.
They haven't, and they still trail Sunderland by 1-0, Portsmouth, with 17 minutes of normal time to go on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL, where we've had our commitment to the Checkatrade Trophy right throughout the season. And Sunderland are 17 minutes from glory. But here come Portsmouth. trying to equalise. Down the right-hand side, it's Nathan Thompson. Tom Naylor puts his foot on the ball and rolls it back to the halfway line for Christian Burgess. Burgess, under pressure from Honeyman, squares the ball left for Clark. Good ball into the feet of Gareth Evans, who turns away by the centre circle and hits a diagonal ball, trying to seek out Brett Pitman. But that time it's overhit from Gareth Evans, and it will go behind harmlessly from the Sunderland point of view for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. 1-0 then to Sunderland. And John McLaughlin will have the goal kick. Right-footed downfield. Players quite spread out around the pitch. Sometimes with goal kicks, everyone's compacted into a space that's about 20 yards square, but quite spread across the centre of the field as the kick is sent downfield by McLaughlin, helped on by McGeady. Thumped away by Clark for Portsmouth, looking to get Hawkins involved in the game, trying to use his physicality, but Baldwin stuck to his task really well, and the ball's back in McLaughlin's arms in the Sunderland penalty area.
We can see a bit of time wasting from me. This is tactics from Sunderland. McLaughlin, he gets the two centre-halves to split as if he's going to play out from the goal kick, knowing that he's not, and then he says, right, get up, and then he waits for them to get up. It just wastes about 30 seconds to a minute.
Long ball downfield, and Gooch felt he was balked by Nathan Thompson as he tried to run through with the ball. In fairness, was about 20 yards ahead of the pair of them. He was never going to get to it, Lyndon Gooch. Sent downfield by McGilvery. Hawkins knocks it down for Brett Pitman. Pitman in the inside right channel, getting the better of Gooch, who's trying to snap back at him, and does win the tackle in the end, Lyndon Gooch, and plays a little 1-2 with Catamol, and the substitute now finds George Honeyman. Gooch has made another run. He's inside the Portsmouth half, down the left-hand side. Now he runs out of ground, and he's dispossessed in the end by a combination of Naylor and Pitman. 1-0 to Sunderland. TalkSport 2, the Checkatrade Trophy final. Portsmouth have a free kick, and Catamol just walks away with the ball to stop Portsmouth taking a quick one. All the tricks in the book now being used.
Absolutely, just wasting vital seconds. Lyndon Gooch, really good recovery run against Pitman, won the ball back and just ran out of ideas. And I mean, that's really what's happened to this Sunderland side in the second half.
Another change coming up for Sunderland, and Max Power, who was with Will Grigg at Wigan last season, he's going to come on for Will Grigg. So it looks like Lyndon Gooch is actually going to play as the furthest player forward here, David Connolly. Gooch is strolling into a centre forward's position as Power comes on for his current Sunderland teammate and Wigan teammate from last year.
Yeah, I just wonder, trying to see the game out here maybe, Sunderland, and then I guess looking forward to those games they got coming up, big league games, including
Accrington live on TalkSport 2 Wednesday night from the Wham Stadium. Make sure you join us for that one, because it's just as important for Accrington, 2 points clear of the drop zone, as it is for Sunderland trying to catch up Barnsley in the top two. Here is Lyndon Gooch, right-hand corner of the penalty area for Sunderland, faced up by Clark, tries to work it in field and try a drive. It's blocked by Portsmouth, headed back to the edge of the area. Slightly awkward clearance from Christian Burgess, drops on the halfway line for O'Neill, plays the ball into the feet of Power, getting his first touch of the afternoon. Oh, that's lovely skill down the right-hand side from McGeady, cutting in field, tries to ride a couple of ricochets, loses out in the end, and Jamal Lowe, still inside his own half, looks to clip the ball into the Sunderland half, looking for Ollie Hawkins, holds the ball at well. Hawkins tries to send it back down the right-hand side where Lowe's put the afterburners on, and he shoves Tom Flanagan, who got to the ball before him. Easy decision for the assistant, right in front of his nose. Free kick Sunderland, and they lead by a goal to 0 on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, unnecessary foul there from Jamal Lowe. Good hold-up play though from Hawkins. I think it's had a really good impact since he's come on.
You're listening to Portsmouth 0, Sunderland 1 on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Free kick to be taken by John McLaughlin, the Sunderland keeper, from just to the left-hand side of his penalty area. Sends it looking for Lyndon Gooch downfield. He's never going to win a header against Christian Burgess in a million years, but Sunderland try and win possession back. Good ball in field from Nathan Thompson, and a good touch from Gareth Evans to try and burst through the middle for Portsmouth. Evans getting to the edge of the area and trying a drive that shoots wide of the post. McLaughlin was at full stretch, and Evans just tried his luck from 25 yards out, but it's the wrong side of the post, and it's another goal kick to Sunderland, who still lead 1-0.
Oh, it's a super bit of skill though from Evans. Just lifted it over the Sunderland defender. Great play. And he's through on goal. I just wondered though, could he have slid Brett Pittman in? Maybe. Who's running on the inside. Shot for goal, missed the target. Got to do a little bit better though in these situations, and I guess they haven't really capitalised on their in possession time.
There is still time though. 11 minutes plus added time for Sunderland to hold on to this 1-goal lead, but a bit of needless play at the back from Sunderland. And Reece James couldn't keep the ball in play. Throw into Portsmouth, midway point of the Sunderland half.
I think he's going to get booked as well here for kicking the ball away, yeah.
Yellow card for Jack Baldwin for a bit of professional time wasting. It's the first yellow card for Sunderland this afternoon. Thompson throws the ball in, looking for Close. It cleared away downfield for Sunderland, goes out of play for a throw-in. Again to be taken by Nathan Thompson on this near side, the right. Gets it back. Works it back into his own half for Christian Burgess. Burgess now looks left for Matt Clark. Clark driving over the halfway line. Sends it out to Lee Brown on the left-hand side. Brown thought about an early ball into the box, but instead rolls Clark in. The centre-half has got assistance from Gareth Evans, but he's offside. The flag's just gone up on this near side. Chance goes a becking for Portsmouth. Free kick Sunderland.
Yeah, again, what a waste. Those instances, they've got to keep hold of the ball. It's got to time his run a little bit better there, Evans. They have changed. They've just got Tom Naylor now sitting Portsmouth. Ben Close and Gareth Evans as attacking midfielders. Will that be enough? Will they get one opportunity?
Well, Portsmouth won the FA Cup here a year after it was reopened in 2008. Sunderland, of course, won here back in 1973, the old Wembley, when they beat Leeds United in that famous Ian Porterfield, Jim Montgomery final, when Bob Stokoe masterminded a second division side as it was then, winning the FA Cup. And Sunderland are closing in on the Checkatrade Trophy. 10 minutes of normal time to go on TalkSport 2. 1-0 Sunderland lead. Portsmouth kicking from left to right as we look behind the dugouts, kicking towards those Portsmouth fans in the west stand.
Well, you can see Hawkins here, as Portsmouth get it, he's always pulling on the diagonal. He wants it in the air, he's got his arms up, just give it to me. Look, now the ball moves over to the left, he works away on the diagonal. Look, the ball keeps shoveling across. They've just got to hit him much earlier.
Burgess out to the right hand side for Portsmouth, and Ben Close plays the ball infield to Jamal Lowe. Low in the centre of the Sunderland half. He's got 3 Portsmouth shirts out to the left-hand side. One of them is Clark, striding forward from centre-back. Plays it down the left-hand side of the box. Evans to the far post. Thompson! It's 1-1! Nathan Thompson equalises for Portsmouth. They had 3 free on the far side of the field, Portsmouth. Clark found Evans, and a wonderfully deep cross to the far post. Thompson with a flying header, and the Sunderland players couldn't keep it out. It's all square at Wembley, 1-1.
Well, they deserve it, Portsmouth. They've been superb this second half. Finally, they make this possession count. Lovely little link up down the left-hand side. It's a terrific ball to the back post. And there's Thompson, Johnny on the spot, heading it back across goal. The man on the line could do nothing. You've got to say, it's been coming, certainly. They've just been building and building and building this second half. Terrific little ball to the back post, played on time. I think Sunderland were too deep. It's Gareth Evans with a ball to the back post. Thompson, great header back across goal. Certainly been a tale of two halves, hasn't it, here?
What a time to get your first goal for Portsmouth. Nathan Thompson scores at Wembley in a cup final to bring Portsmouth level. Here on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. And now Sunderland have got to do it all again. Extra time looms then. We had penalty shootouts in the group stage, but once we get to the semi-final stage of the Checkatrade, extra time kicks in, and that's what we're heading for now, David, on TalkSport 2, unless one of these teams can find a winner.
Well, certainly Portsmouth have been in the ascendancy, which will bode well for the second half. And I just wonder, would they get another chance? Because, you know, they had loads of good play, but didn't really craft anything of note, but that was really well worked.
And this after Sunderland have made that change, taken off their striker, Will Grigg. Gooch is the furthest player forward. So they don't have a traditional focal point for their attack now, Sunderland, as they try and find a way to go back in front.
No, that's right. And also the changes that I think Portsmouth have made them stronger. The likes of Evans has come on and been excellent. I think he would have probably thought he might have started. Hawkins as well, won everything in the air.
Clark again rampaging down the left-hand side for Portsmouth, looks to get Lee Brown away. Was he pushed from behind? No, he wasn't. Goal kick, says the referee. Went to ground under pressure from O'Neill, but Dean Whitestone says that's merely a goal kick to Sunderland. 1-1 in the Checkatrade Trophy final, 6 minutes of normal time to play, and there is going to be a change in strikers coming on for Sunderland. Charlie Wyke, once of Bradford City, is going to get an opportunity here. Saw him score against Newcastle's under-21s up at the Stadium of Light in the third round of the competition, once we were into the knockout stages. And Charlie Wyke is much more your traditional archetypal number 9. Remains to be seen who he comes on for. They're just holding off to make this substitution for the moment, Sunderland. One apiece on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. And the EFL Trophy final is destined for an extra half hour. Sunderland lose out on the halfway line. A foul by Pittman on Catamol. Can't believe the referee's given it, but it did look a fairly agricultural challenge on Catamol, and Sunderland have a free kick in their centre circle, and White still waits to be introduced into the fray. Jack Ross now telling White to go and sit down for the moment. He's going to hold off the substitute for a moment. White dejectedly trudges back up to take his seat and put his top back on. Interesting decision there from Jack Ross. What's the point of having in mind if you can't change it, he'll probably say. White might be on sooner rather than later. Here's Ledbetter for Sunderland. 1-1 on TalkSport 2. Infield for Lyndon Gooch. Gooch clips the ball out to the right-hand side. O'Neill's at the right-hand corner of the box. Cross comes in from that right-hand side, and it's cleared away. Power couldn't get the ball through to a teammate, but it's passed infield for McGeady. McGeady trying to make room for a shot. Left-hand side of the area, drops on the left-hand side for James with a cross, and headed over his crossbar by Lee Brown for a Sunderland corner with 4 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. 1-1.
Oh, excellent defending there from Lee Brown. What a ball in from Reece James right along the 6-yard line. Had to be defended well, it was.
Going to be a corner kick then for Grant Ledbetter in front of the Sunderland fans, away to our left in the east stand and all around the east stand and up to the halfway line on both sides.
Well, they gave Ledbetter a round of applause. I mean, basically, they haven't seen the ball down this half, have they? Haven't had much to cheer in the second.
Ledbetter's right-footed in-swinging corner. Goalkeeper stays at home, headed away by Hawkins, back doing his defending for Portsmouth, and thumped downfield with little ceremony by Gareth Evans. He's made another decision down there, Jack Ross. He's now told Charlie White to sit down, and he's going to bring on Denver Hume, the young defender, instead. And he's going to come on for Reece James. It's a left back for a left back in actual fact, David Conley. There may well be a problem with Reece James, who did go down injured a little earlier, so yeah, Denver Hume's on to replace him.
It's like he's feeling his groin, maybe. Disappointing for Charlie White, but... And also Sunderland, they don't have a recognised number 9 up there, so you imagine the ball will keep coming back.
Well, Denver Hume's only 20. Sunderland youth, made his debut in the final day of last season. Don't forget, Charlie White could still be utilised, because of course in extra time you can make a 4th substitution. So his day's not done quite yet. We've got 2.5 minutes of normal time to go in this Checkatrade Trophy final before extra time and possible penalty kicks to decide who wins this trophy. Which of these two former Premier League sides lifts the Checkatrade Trophy? Ball's back with John McLaughlin in the Sunderland goal. Takes a touch, keeps it away from Hawkins, drives it downfield, straight out to the head of Ben Close. Now Gareth Evans driving down the inside left for Portsmouth into the area, checks back onto his right, gets the shot away, it's blocked by Ledbetter. Evans goes back out to retrieve it, but Sunderland tried to bring it forward and they've won themselves a throw. Gareth Evans looking menacing whenever he picks up that ball in those inside left channels, David Connolly.
Yeah, he does, but I just wonder though, could he have got his head up and maybe put the ball in the box? Got big Hawkins in there, elected to shoot from too far out for me.
Oh, good challenge from Nathan Thompson to dispossess Aidan McGeady, and then he's fouled by McGeady, who's given Thompson a right mouthful as they both get up, but the foul was given by Dean Whitestone, and McGeady's still protesting his innocence to the referee. I'm going to be careful not to talk himself into a yellow card for dissent. He's walked away now, and Portsmouth have a free kick as we head into the last minute of normal time in the Checkatrade Trophy final, with the scores locked at 1-1, and Portsmouth, with Gareth Evans, a chance to drift a diagonal ball into the Sunderland penalty area.
I think that's what Kenny Jackett's saying, shouting across at Lee Brown, because he had it, gave it to Gareth Evans. I think he's saying, look, just put it in the box. That's what we got Hawkins on for.
Well, McGeady has been booked in actual fact. Dean Whitestone's called him back and has given him a yellow card, so the Sunderland goal scorer is the second of their squad to go into the book along with Baldwin.
I think McGeady felt that Thompson took a dive there, and I did think he went to ground a little bit too easily.
So the free kick for Portsmouth, almost at the midway point of the Sunderland half, 2 or 3 yards in from the right hand touchline. Evans standing hands on hips, addressing the ball. Sunderland holding their line at the edge of the 18-yard box with their red and white striped shirts. Blue Portsmouth shirts all around them. Burgess and Flanagan having a bit of a holding match at the edge of the area. In it comes from Evans. It's too high, I think, and will be claimed, will it, by the keeper? It will in the end. Actually palmed it against a teammate as we go into 4 minutes of minimum stoppage time here at Wembley Stadium. That stands between us and extra time. Bowled out overarm by McLaughlin for Sunderland. Is there a time for a winner for either side? Max Power for Sunderland has the ball on the halfway line, looks up and hits a diagonal ball out to this near side, trying to seek out McGeady, but he went straight to Nathan Thompson. His ball clear is picked up instead by Sunderland's Lyndon Gooch. Gooch sends it out to the right hand side for Power, right footed ball into the area. Naylor gets it clear, claims for handball against Matt Clark, who'd gone to ground. Nothing doing, says the referee, and Portsmouth now trying to counter-attack with Ollie Hawkins and Brett Pittman. Pittman in the centre circle, keeps it away from 2 or 3 Sunderland players and works it right for Tom Naylor. Naylor looks for Nathan Thompson. Thompson down the right-hand side, looking to get away from the substitute Denver Hume, and the youngster only gets it half clear. Here's Tom Naylor for Portsmouth, right-hand corner of the area, takes a touch, floats it to the far post, nodded down, looking at the area for Evans with a drive, and that's blocked over the bar by Leadbitter for a Portsmouth corner with a minute gone in stoppage time. 1-1.
What a block there from Leadbitter. I mean, that's why Hawkins is on the pitch, but finally they've just recognised that Portsmouth. They put the ball into the back post. Hawkins wins the first one, they pick up the second ball, keep the pressure on.
Corner kick for Portsmouth in front of their fans, away to our right, into the near post, headed over by Clark. Got a free header at the near post, tried to twist his neck muscles to send it goalwards, but he went the wrong side of the post. Sunderland have a goal kick and it stays 1 apiece.
Well, they got this weapon now, Hawkins. I think Kenny Jackett is also questioning that 4 minutes of extra time. I'm sure he thinks it should be more than that. Maybe they feel they could win this in normal time, but now they've got Hawkins. Look, every time they get the ball wide, just put it in. He's going to be on the diagonal, hang it up, he'll win the first one, then it's up to the rest. Can they pick up that second ball?
Well, half of that 4 minutes has gone. Stoppage time on TalkSport 2 in the Checkatrade Trophy final. 1 apiece between Sunderland and Portsmouth. Sunderland ahead at half-time through Aidan McGeady's free kick, but Nathan Thompson's late header, his first for the club, has brought Pompey level. But Sunderland have a free kick inside their own half, midway point of it. 2.5 minutes of added time have gone. McLaughlin, the goalkeeper, sends the ball out left for Jack Baldwin, plays the ball along the floor, picked up by Max Power. Now Denver Hume down the left-hand side, steps inside, gets away from Ben Close. Good ball in field from Denver Hume. Looked then for Lyndon Gooch down the left-hand side of the box, but it was intercepted by Burgess for Portsmouth. Burgess there again to head the ball clear for Pompey. Jamal Lowe lets it run across his body. Hawkins on halfway spots Brett Pittman going through the middle, tried to sweep it into his path, but he couldn't wrap his foot round it, and it's straight through to the Sunderland keeper. 1-1.
Right idea, just the wrong execution. Pittman had pulled away on the diagonal.
Last minute of minimum stoppage time. 1-1 at Wembley. Here on TalkSport 2. Lee Catamol. Got a bit of space inside the centre circle. Plays it out to the left along the floor for Denver Hume. Tries to play inside the full-back for McGeady. Out comes Christian Burgess to slide it out of play, but Sunderland have a throw.
Really good covering there from Burgess. Read the run. Got in behind Thompson, but covered across ever so well.
Denver Hume, the youngster, with the throw. Looking for Lyndon Gooch to protect it by the corner flag. Looks to spin away from Burgess. Hits it against Burgess, and it will come out to McGeady. 25 yards out, hugging the left-hand touchline. Denver Hume now trying to pick up the ball. He's got a good run. Denver Hume inside the area, across the face of goal and put behind for a corner kick. Gareth Evans back helping out his teammates as Luke O'Neill was closest of all.
Oh, what a run from young Hume. I thought he was going to be the hero there. Right to death. Super little run. Great ball across the 6-yard box.
Well, the 4 minutes of minimum stoppage time are up. Sunderland have a corner. At 1-1 in the Checkatrade Trophy final on TalkSport 2. Leadbitter with the corner kick. Up go the heads. Comes to the far side of the area. Went through everybody pretty much. And the referee says that's enough for your 90 minutes. A game of two halves in every sense. Sunderland dominated the first half and deservedly were in front at the break through Aidan McGeady's free kick. But Nathan Thompson capped a rousing second half comeback from Portsmouth to level matters with a late header, and we are now set for another half an hour in the Checkatrade Trophy final with a score at Portsmouth 1, Sunderland 1.
Well, that was all right, wasn't it? A complete mirror image of the first half. The Pompey push came, Sunderland faltered in the second period, and it was Nathan Thompson, as Dance rightly mentioned, coming to the rescue for the Blues in the second half. After 90 minutes, 1-1, Portsmouth against Sunderland. Another 30 minutes will be needed, at the very least. Back shortly with extra time in the Checkatrade Trophy final, live here on TalkSport 2.
TalkSport 2 Live. The EFL on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more.
EU exit.
My business plan.
Exports.
The facts.
Leaving the EU may mean your business needs to prepare for change. Even if you think your business won't be affected, it's worth double-checking. To help you prepare your business, you can find guidance and up-to-date information at gov.uk/EU exit.
The name.
Well, that was all right, wasn't it? A complete mirror image of the first half. The Pompey push came, Sunderland faltered in the second period, and it was Nathan Thompson, as Dance rightly mentioned, coming to the rescue for the Blues in the second half. After 90 minutes, 1-1, Portsmouth against Sunderland. Another 30 minutes will be needed, at the very least. Back shortly with extra time in the Checkatrade Trophy final, live here on TalkSport 2.
TalkSport 2 Live. The EFL on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more.
EU exit.
My business plan.
Exports.
The facts.
Leaving the EU may mean your business needs to prepare for change. Even if you think your business won't be affected, it's worth double-checking. To help you prepare your business, you can find guidance and up-to-date information at gov.uk/EU exit.
The name.
Thanks, Dan. Ready for the off at the start of the extra time period, so both teams have switched to where they were kicking in the first half of normal time. Sunderland kicking towards our right, towards the west stand end where the Portsmouth fans are. Portsmouth heading left to the east stand with the Black Cats faithful. Brilliant atmosphere. It's been like it all afternoon. Wembley Way was more packed than I've ever seen it 3 hours before kickoff when I got here this morning. But somebody's got to lose. Somebody's got to go home empty-handed this afternoon. We'll have to find out whether it takes extra spot kicks. Still waiting for one of the officials, in actual fact. One of the assistants might have gone for a toilet break. There he is, just emerging from the tunnel. Hope he washed his hands.
That's the referee.
That is the referee, you're right, it's Mr. Whitestone, who's been to use the facilities. Now he's going to sort out the coin toss, which I assume will just mean that both sides stay exactly where they are. It's just a question of who gets the kick at the start of this second period. So 2 subs left for Portsmouth, David Conley, just 1 left for Sunderland. They can make an extra one in the extra period. Charlie White's got to be favourite, isn't he, to come on?
He has. I think Portsmouth will be really pleased in terms of the impact their changes have made on them, and were super in that second half. Yeah, Sunderland have got to raise it here. You know,
What did they do different?
They look a bit leggy, don't they?
What did they do different, Portsmouth?
Well, I don't think they did too much different, apart from Sunderland looked a bit weary. They're out on their feet. Players put in an awful lot of effort, the likes of Morgan and McGeady. They faded somewhat. I think the changes were really good. I mean, Evans is excellent. He came on, has had a real good impact. So is Hawkins. So I just think a combination of Portsmouth, actually the changes made them stronger, and Sunderland just looked a bit fatigued.
Back underway then at Wembley Stadium. Extra time starts in the Checkatrade Trophy final. Sunderland in their red and white striped shirts, black shorts and red socks, attacking the goal away to our right, the West Stand end. Portsmouth in their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks, and Christian Burgess is immediately clattered into by Lyndon Gooch down the left-hand side of the area. Falls awkwardly, but will get back to his feet. Just a reminder of the lineups. For Portsmouth, McGilvery in goal, Thompson the goal scorer, Burgess, Clark and Brown at the back, Naylor and Close, Evans, Pittman, Lowe and Hawkins for Portsmouth. And for Sunderland, McLaughlin the goalkeeper, O'Neill, Flanagan, Bolban and Hume in the back 4, Catamol and Ledbetter, and then Gooch, Honeyman, McGeady and Power. Gooch is the furthest forward of those 4. Sunderland in possession with Lee Catamol, rolls it right for Luke O'Neill. Oh, he's giving the ball away needlessly to Ben Close, who can drive over the halfway line for Portsmouth. Gareth Evans making a super run, picks the ball up, left-hand side. Lee Brown making an overlapping run, but Evans looks to clip the ball into the area. Important header up in the air by Flanagan to keep it away from Hawkins, who's coming in at the far post. And Sunderland tidy things up and bring it clear themselves with Ledbetter.
Well, he had to use all his frame there just to take that off Hawkins. Really good defensive header.
Ledbetter for Sunderland. 1-1 then on TalkSport 2 with a minute and a half gone in extra time for the Checkatrade Trophy. Picked up by Max Power, just shy of the halfway line. Plays it backwards of square to Flanagan, and he rolls it out to this near touchline, and Luke O'Neill, faced up by Gareth Evans. Honeyman, the Sunderland captain, comes to collect. O'Neill again drives in field from the right-hand touchline, has to clip it back to Jack Baldwin, the centre half. Now in field it goes once more to Ledbetter, who's dropped between the 2 Sunderland centre halves here. Flanagan down the right-hand side. In steps Matt Clark, and he was fouled by Lyndon Gooch as he did his best Superman impression to head the ball clear. Burgess will pick up the quickly taken free kick for Portsmouth. Squares it to his left for Tom Naylor, gives it back to Burgess. Charlie White once again has his training top off and will be on shortly. Long ball downfield looking for the Portsmouth number 9, Ollie Hawkins, but that will bounce through to McLaughlin. And it remains to be seen which Sunderland player is going to make way for Charlie White to give them back their more traditional centre forward. Remember, Jack Ross made that change when Sunderland were a goal up and took off Will Grigg to bring on move Lyndon Gooch up front and add Max Power in central midfield. Here's Pittman for Portsmouth, looks for Jamal Lowe down the right hand side of the box. Denver Hume goes out there with him. Jamal Lowe just rolls his foot on the ball. Thompson's there as well for Portsmouth, but he goes back 20 yards or so to Tom Naylor. Back to the halfway line with the centre halves exchange passes. Clark made a number of rampaging runs. Matt Clark down the left hand side. He's doing another one now. Tries to whip a cross in. It's going to deflect off Lyndon Gooch, and behind for a goal kick as it came off Clark last of all. 1-1.
We've seen that a few times today, haven't we? Matt Clark really comfortable in possession, driving into the opposition half, trying to make the overload that time. It's a little bit unfortunate.
Cardiff 1, Chelsea 2 as a full-time score in the Premier League earlier. Liverpool and Spurs just getting underway at Anfield. We'll keep you in touch with any goals that go in there. Celtic beat Rangers in the Old Firm at lunchtime 2-1. James Forrest with the winner. And the change is coming for Sunderland. Charlie White is on. Is that Grant Ledbetter coming off? It is. So a midfielder coming off to allow a centre-forward to come on. David Connolly.
Yeah, I think Ledbetter's done a really good job for the team here today. But maybe they just need a bit different, more physical presence up top to retain the ball. He's a big boy, isn't he, White? But I think Ledbetter can be pleased. Really good performance.
400 grand from Bradford. Back in August, Charlie White trying to get involved early and set McGeady away through the middle, but Clark gets the better of him at the back for Portsmouth. One back by Lee Cattermole for Sunderland. Good touch from Luke O'Neill to work the ball out to the right-hand side, and Honeyman is captain. Honeyman still has it, right for the challenge of Evans, whips the ball in to the near post, but Clark once again is there for Portsmouth. And he will clear left-footed downfield, looking for Brett Pittman. Lets the ball run over his head. Hawkins can't get the second ball. Dropped instead for Ben Close, who finds Gareth Evans, midway point of his own half. Just clips the ball to the right, and Christian Burgess. Clark again, stepping away from White this time. And rolls it back to Craig McGilvery. Long ball downfield, looking for Ollie Hawkins, chested it down, but he was being fouled. Was he by O'Neill? Yes, there's the referee, much to the consternation of the Sunderland fans at that end of the pitch, the left-hand end as we look. Quickly taken free kick. Brown down the left-hand side for Portsmouth, tries to hit an early ball from level with the edge of the box, comes out of O'Neill, and he takes the throw in just as quickly. Lee Brown tries to play a 1-2 to get Evans away. Evans runs into Lee Cattermole with another sensational challenge just inside his own penalty area.
So well timed. Brilliant from Cattermole.
And now Sunderland on the counter-attack down the left-hand side with Lyndon Gooch. Denver Hume's gone ahead of him, but Lyndon Gooch comes in field, looks to clip it to the edge of the box to find Charlie White, but Portsmouth get it clear. Jamal Lowe going after it, but Baldwin gets there first to head it out play for a Portsmouth throw. 6 minutes of extra time gone on TalkSport 2. Your home of the EFL. It's the Checkatrade Trophy final. If you're just tuning in, it's one apiece between Portsmouth and Sunderland. And here is Lee Brown, the Portsmouth left back, striding forward once again into the Sunderland half. Squares the ball in field for Gareth Evans, who's been so influential since coming on as a second half substitute. Clark comes forward from centre half again. Thought about another of those driving runs. He's continued to go forward, but he's passed the ball back to Lee Brown. Now Ben Close.
Again though, look, you see the ball moving from left to right. Immediately Hawkins is on the diagonal. He just needs the ball much earlier.
Ball's out of play for a Portsmouth throw out on the right-hand side for Nathan Thompson. He was a Swindon youth, joined after the promotion campaign in 2017 and hadn't scored for Portsmouth until this afternoon at Wembley in front of 80,000. If I was him, I'd bang a lot about that for the rest of the time. Lee Brown for Portsmouth, driving forward down the left-hand side, clips a lovely ball into the area, looking for Hawkins, but that's a good play from McLaughlin coming out from his goal line. Stays one apiece on TalkSport 2. Bowled out overarm for Aidan McGeady, who's got a bit of space to dash into, but a heavy touch allows Tom Naylor to win it back for Portsmouth.
Oh, he's unlucky. I think he was waiting for the run from Charlie White. Made it a little bit too late, so McGeady took another touch, just overran it. The fans aren't happy, not the Sunderland ones here anyway. I feel the referee's giving Portsmouth a couple too many decisions their way.
Free kick to Portsmouth on TalkSport 2, where we're halfway through the first period of extra time. One apiece between these two League One sides, both ex-Premier League. One of these will become only the second former Premier League side to win the Football League trophy. Here's Jamal Lowe trying to get a piece of it at the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Tom Flanagan sticks the boot in. Thompson felt he was fouled, went to ground. He's still trying to win the ball off Cattermole, and Cattermole finally brings it away for Sunderland, but can't get past Ben Close. Ben Close drives to the right-hand corner of the area, into the area for Hawkins, lays it off for Lowe, and he screws his right-footed shot wide. It's a goal kick to Sunderland, 1-1.
Oh, it's a good little move though. Ball into Hawkins again. He's that sort of wall you build off. Nice set here, Jamal Lowe. Just skewed the shot horribly wide. A few tired legs out there. That was a tired shot anyway. Good move though.
Stays one apiece in the Checkatrade Trophy final. McLaughlin will have the goal kick downfield. Sending it out to the right-hand side, looking for O'Neill. Gets a good flick on, headed infield by McGeady. Charlie White gets the ball away from Burgess, running towards the edge of the area, through the legs of Thompson. Here's George Honeyman, squares it back for Lyndon Gooch inside the box, and Thompson gets a vital touch. Denver Hume crosses from the left, hits Lyndon Gooch at the near post, who couldn't control it, but Portsmouth scramble it clear for a Sunderland throw.
Oh, it's a good break though. Lovely little nutmegs from White, out wide to Gooch. Maybe could have returned the ball back.
Throw into Sunderland, midway point of the Portsmouth half, down the Sunderland left. Wyke is down that left-hand side. It's taken forward by Max Power, but he can't get away. And instead it's back inside the penalty area for Matt Clark to fire downfield. Hawkins goes to ground under pressure from Baldwin, but Hawkins was the aggressor according to the referee, and that's a free kick to Sunderland, just shy of the halfway line. One apiece.
Well, Baldwin's holding his face here. I think he feels that maybe Hawkins just leant into him, used his arm. He is going to do that. He had eyes on the ball though the whole time.
Free kick to Sunderland that the goalkeeper McLaughlin plays through the halfway line for George Honeyman, out to the left-hand side and Denver Hume. Honeyman finds Max Power, just drifts away from Jamal Lowe, moving into the centre of the field, tried to find Lyndon Gooch at the edge of the area, but Close stepped in to win it back for Portsmouth, and now Naylor brings the ball away. What a run from Gareth Evans down the left-hand side. He's picked out by Naylor. Two going into the area. Hawkins is there, so too is Pittman. Evans still in possession, and he's fouled, and that'll be a free kick. I know it's a yellow card for simulation, is it, for Gareth Evans? It is. The Sunderland fans thought the referee had blown for a free kick for Portsmouth, but instead it's a free kick. Goes against Gareth Evans for a bit of a swan dive, and he gets a yellow card, and the cheers of the Sunderland fans for getting it.
I think it's the right call there from the referee. I mean, Gareth Evans, really, he received it out wide plenty of time. He had Hawkins in the box, just hanging up there to him, cuts inside onto his right foot. The opportunity's lost, and to me, it does go to ground. It is a dive. Deserved that yellow.
4 minutes to half-time in extra time on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL, the Checkatrade Trophy. One apiece between Portsmouth and Sunderland. Both sets of supporters trying to raise their team spirits in this extra time period. Free kick for John McLaughlin of Sunderland, the goalkeeper, looking out to this near touchline. But Luke O'Neill couldn't get a piece of it, and it's sent downfield, but Sunderland will have a throw-in.
I mean, Gareth Evans has been excellent. However, he's playing on the left, and if you've got Hawkins in the box, you know it's not really coming in. I think they could really do with maybe a nice left footer out on this side, just so when they get it, they just put it into the box, make Sunderland defend.
Denver Hume pushing infield from the left-hand touchline. Good strong run for Sunderland from Denver Hume. Gets to about 25 yards out. Runs out of room, but goes sensibly back to Catamol. Now out to the left-hand side for Honeyman. Looks to clip the ball into the edge of the area for Lyndon Gooch. But Portsmouth think, well, anywhere will do, and just thump it downfield. 3 minutes of the first half of extra time to go. Catamol floats the ball down the left-hand side of the box. Gooch has to bring it down. He's brought it down brilliantly. Runs out towards the corner flag. Back for Honeyman, the skipper. Now Max Power, left-hand corner of the box, runs into Ollie Hawkins, who wins it back for Portsmouth. And then Lowe, back in his own defensive third, tries to whack it clear downfield. It's flicked on well by Hawkins, and Brett Pittman's got the better of Baldwin, and he's getting away down the right-hand side. Gets his head at Pittman. No one's there with him at the moment. Now Hawkins coming to join him. Passes in field for Hawkins. Little touch back for Ben Close. Early ball for Gareth Evans. Lee Brown making a run down the left-hand side of the area for Pompey. Here's Lee Brown. Drives it goalwards, and that's well held at his near post by McLaughlin. 1-1.
Oh, it's a really good move, but spoiled by the cross. The delivery from Brown has got to be better. Just laced it straight into the hands of McLaughlin. You get in that position. Look, you've got two forwards in the box. Hawkins, Pittman, just pick one of them out, because both of them crafted that move ever so well from their own half. What a waste, though, in the final third.
Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 1. 2 minutes of the first period of extra time to go. Sunderland in possession on the halfway line. Pittman goes in strongly to try and win the ball off Max Power, but Power had too much power, if you pardon the pun, to get away from his man, and now McGeady rolls the ball up to the edge of the area looking for Lyndon Gooch, but it's clipped away by Ben Close. Baldwin retrieves the ball on halfway for Sunderland. Power works it right to Flanagan. Now McGeady. Diagonal ball, looking to seek out Charlie White, who nods it down for George Honeyman, left-hand side of the area. Nathan Thompson gets his foot in it for Portsmouth and gets it up to halfway, but Pittman can't win that. It'll be Baldwin who tidies up for Sunderland once more and plays a 1-2 with Denver Hume.
Well, they've had the better of this one, haven't they? This half of extra time, Sunderland.
Yeah, and they have Max Power in possession, who's kind of assumed that Leadbitter role since Leadbitter went off. Played there, of course, at Wigan with Sam Morsey so effectively last season in the promotion campaign for Paul Cook's men. Here's Aidan McGeady. Drifting infield from the right-hand side, gets away from Hawkins, still going, but then he runs into Christian Burgess, who chops the ball clear. But Denver Hume picks it up for Sunderland, down the left-hand side of the area, looking to take on Thompson, goes to ground, and it was his foul. He pushed Thompson, free kick to Portsmouth, and it stays 1-1 as we tick round towards stoppage time in the first half of extra time on TalkSport 2.
Well, Hume looks really lively, doesn't he? He's had a great impact. The youngster come on in really difficult circumstances in a final. He's looked very comfortable on the ball, attacks at will, gets to the byline, loves to get to the byline. He's got a lovely left foot. He looks a real prospect.
He's only made 5 league appearances since coming into the Sunderland side, but as you say, Denver Hume looking very adept in that left back area at Wembley Stadium. We're into 1 minute of minimum stoppage time at the end of this first half of extra time. 1-1, Portsmouth coming forward. Hawkins flicks the ball on looking for Pittman. Sunderland get it clear. Evans looked to have caught O'Neill late. It's a free kick, and Evans has got to be careful. Remember, he's on that yellow card for simulation.
It's really good. Sorry, Dan, I was just going to say, it's really good play from Tom Flanagan there. Just a long ball, and he could have headed it clear. Instead, he tried to pick out Luke O'Neill.
Flanagan's in possession for Sunderland. Hits a long ball down the right-hand side, looking to get Lyndon Gooch in behind Clark. And there goes the whistle for the end of the first half of extra time. Still 1 apiece between Portsmouth and Sunderland. We can't separate them, Dan Windle. And Portsmouth will get us underway for the start of this second period. Heading to the end where their supporters are. Brett Pittman is waiting to get things back underway, gets the signal from Dean Whitestone, and off we go again on TalkSport 2. 1 apiece then between the side from the south coast and the side from Wearside. Straight away down the left hand side for Portsmouth. Ball into the area. Gareth Evans trying to drive the ball goalwards. It's blocked at the near post by Catamol. Portsmouth trying to get on the front foot early in this second period. Nathan Thompson, diagonal ball, looking to seek out Gareth Evans. He got his head on it, drops for Pittman at the edge of the area, tries to volley it goalwards, but he got right underneath it, sails over the crossbar, and Sunderland have a goal kick. 1-1.
Well, it's a good opportunity, wasn't it? Good knockdown from Gareth Evans, just bounced up in front of Pittman. Player of his quality might be disappointed with that finish. Got too much on it, volleyed it over the bar.
And Liverpool have scored against Tottenham. They take the lead, and Roberto Firmino, who scored for Brazil in the week, comes back and puts Jurgen Klopp's side ahead against Tottenham Hotspur. Ball flicked on, looking for Lyndon Gooch to get onto this. And goalkeeper McGilvray gets there in the end for Portsmouth. It looked like he dropped it, but I think he was being fouled by Gooch in any case.
He was a bit slow off his line there, McGilvray. I think Matt Clark was hoping he was going to sweep that up, but in the end, waiting for the ball to come through, he was lucky.
McGilvray hits the ball right-footed downfield, headed up in the air by Hawkins. He won his own flick on, in actual fact, and sends it left for Brett Pittman. Pittman looks for Evans, left-hand corner of the penalty area, tries to hit an early cross. It's blocked by O'Neill. Heavy touch by Catamol, one back by Ben Close, flicks it infield trying to find Pittman, and then Pittman collides with Catamol, who's come off worse, and it will be a free kick for Sunderland just outside their own penalty area. 1 apiece. Remember, on your home of the EFL, TalkSport 2, we bring you live commentary from the Championship on Tuesday night. Myself and Neil Redfern will bring you Middlesbrough against Bristol City, both just outside the top 6. Game in hand for both of those sides and a chance to go back into the playoff zone. And then on Wednesday night, we're back with Sunderland at Accrington Stanley, who are only 2 points clear of the League One bottom 4. That's another 7:45 kickoff. Live commentary for myself and Neil Redfern again here on TalkSport 2. You've also got racing from Aintree all week in Grand National Week. And then we're at relegated Huddersfield next Saturday on TalkSport 2 for Matchday Live 2 as they take on Leicester City. Now Brett Pitman, good strength down the right hand side, looked to square the ball in field for Jamal Lowe, but Jack Baldwin did enough to get it out of play for a Portsmouth throw. 1-1.
Well, showed real good pace there, didn't he, Pitman? Good hold-up play though again from Hawkins, who's been really, really good since he's come on.
Tom Naylor wins a throw for Portsmouth down this near side. Nathan Thompson with an early throw. Pitman tried to let the ball run across his body, but Catamol got stuck in. Sunderland give it away though. Thompson up to the edge of the area, Low with his back to goal, so too Ben Close, who goes to ground, gets back to his feet and kept the ball alive. And then Catamol, who was on the deck, managed to win the ball back for Sunderland. Thumped downfield by Denver Hume, controlled by Charlie Wyke on his thigh, but showed too much of that to Tom Naylor, who's kept the ball in play on this near side and rolls the ball in field for Close. Now Low touches the ball in field to Pitman. Pitman tries to drive, it's so wayward, gets right underneath it, and it sails over the crossbar for a Sunderland goal kick. A rush of blood to the head of Brett Pitman. 1-1.
Well, he hasn't had that many shots today, but he got that one wrong. He's a really good position as well. You fancy him with his technique. Maybe just work that ball slightly closer to goal. Took that on a good, 25 yards out. It's a good move though from Portsmouth.
Goal kicked for John McLaughlin, the Sunderland keeper. As we tick round towards 19 minutes of extra time gone. So just over 10 minutes before the lottery of penalty kicks is required to decide the winner of the 2019 Checkatrade Trophy. Throw in to Sunderland, just over the halfway line, right hand side. Luke O'Neill will take it. Wyke is showing for him down the touchline on the right hand side. McGeady comes for the short one in field. Powers there too. And the ball's thrown straight to a Portsmouth player, Ben Close, but he loses out. However, it is a Portsmouth throw. That was a bit of a waste from Sunderland on that far side. 1-1 it stays. It'll be Lee Brown to take the throw for Pompey. Gets it back from Ben Close. Nodded down by Ollie Hawkins, and Pitman with his back to play works it back to the halfway line, and Naylor. Good ball in field from Close. Now Pitman looks to play it over the top for Jamal Lowe, takes it on his chest inside the box, but chested it away from his control, and Sunderland bring it clear. Charlie Wyke after possession inside the Portsmouth half. Foot race with Christian Burgess, but Burgess gets there first to get it back to his goalkeeper McGilvery.
Yeah, good defending from Burgess, who's been brilliant again today.
Clark, his centre-half partner, not far behind him, headed most things clear this afternoon. But here is Charlie Wyke trying to turn away from Clark, who intercepts and brings it clear. Ben Close works it out to the left-hand side, and Gareth Evans still inside his own half. Finds Clark once again, sees the run of Lee Brown, the left-back striding forward for Portsmouth, 3 in the area. In it comes from Brown, away from Jamal Lowe, volleyed cleared by Baldwin. But Clark will retrieve the ball for Portsmouth and send it back to his goalkeeper, McGilvery.
He's been a really good outlet for Portsmouth today. Lee Brown bombed on for fun, shows no sign of fatigue, still going. Good ball into the box, but just need a little bit more on it. I still feel that Hawkins is underutilised. You've got to hang it up, give him a chance to get on the end of it. He will, with quality, but there's a few struggling out there.
Yeah, Ben Close is struggling with a bit of cramp.
I think Lee Brown actually looked like he might be struggling. Bit of cramp too.
McGilvery, meantime, for Portsmouth, the keeper, thumps it downfield. Good touch in field from Hawkins. Pitman helps it on towards the edge of the area. Jamal Lowe trying to get to it. Pitman tries to seize on a loose ball inside the area, but McLaughlin, the Sunderland keeper, got there first and got it clear. Suddenly time stood still, and Pitman looked like he was in on goal for a moment.
Well, he continued his run. Looked like the two centre-halves thought the goalkeeper was going to deal with that, but I think Close is struggling.
Yeah, Close has gone down again, lying flat on his back just by the halfway line. He was trying to relieve the cramp himself. Now, Anton Walks is being readied, who plays at right back for Portsmouth usually, whilst Close gets a bit of treatment. I'm not sure whether Close is going to be able to continue. Not good signs from the physio who's attending to him, or is he just saying no, he's all right?
Well, Bobby, that's the same physio Kenny had at Millwall. He's brought him to Portsmouth. I think Walks will come on. He can do a job in midfield. I have seen him do that before. Obviously, traditionally a full-back, but...
Yeah, that's it for Ben Close. Looks like a thigh strain to me. for Portsmouth, and so he will go straight off, and Anton Walks will come on to replace him. A shock of peroxide blonde hair. Scored on his debut a year ago when he was on loan from Tottenham. Now a permanent signing at Portsmouth, Anton Walks. Spent some time out in America in MLS football with Atlanta. So he's on and playing in closest position really in central midfield. Thompson stayed at right back. Ball sent forward to the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. 1-1 on TalkSport 2 in extra time in the Checkatrade Trophy final between Sunderland and Portsmouth. Portsmouth in attack down the right hand side with their goal scorer Nathan Thompson. Plays the ball into the near post. Sent back for Anton Walks. He tries to drive. What a save from McLaughlin. Stuck out his right hand and kept it out. Magnificent save to keep it 1-1.
Oh, brilliant reflex. Good little ball. What a ball though from Thompson into low, then set Walks. Super strike across goal.
Ball downfield trying to get Charlie Wyke in behind the Portsmouth centre-halves, but Matt Clark wins it back. Dummies to send the ball downfield and then does send it long looking for Jamal Lowe. Lowe's picked it up, tries to get inside his man. Keeper's off his line! Oh, what a goal! Jamal Lowe may well have won the Checkatrade Trophy for Portsmouth with the most delicate lob over McLaughlin out of his ground. He brought the ball down out of the sky at the left-hand corner of the box. Saw McLaughlin off his line, and a brilliant finish from the man born in the shadow of Wembley Stadium. He may well have won it for Pompey. It's Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 2.
Would you believe it? Well, the man from Harrow's won it. What a ball over the top, great skill, took it out the sky, spotted the goalkeeper off his line, then a really delicate half volley lob. It's caught in no man's land, to be honest. McLaughlin, great little finish though, showed real composure. He's been lively all game, super touch, ducked back inside, knew the goalkeeper's off his line in no man's land. It's the most delicate of lobs, just to lift it over the keeper. Stunning strike.
Just takes it on the bounce as well, on the half volley. Coolness personified from Jamal Lowe. He's never played at Wembley. He's gone past it on a train, or near his house, or near his school, and near the Barnet training ground all his life, and he's wondered what it's like to play here. Now he's within 5 minutes of being a winning goal scorer in a Wembley final. On TalkSport 2, Sunderland are behind here.
Well, it's a goal worthy of winning any sort of final at Wembley, let me tell you. Brilliant finish.
Now Sunderland have got to find reserves of strength. They were 1-0 up and cruising at half-time. Now they've got to find an equaliser. Matt Clark sticks his foot in to win the ball off Lyndon Gooch. Tom Naylor faced up by Lee Catamol. Lyndon Gooch has stayed down injured inside the Portsmouth half and is only now just picking himself up to his feet, and Portsmouth will let the ball go out of play to see if Gooch needs any further treatment. Well, what a story. Jamal Lowe came from Hampton in Richmond. He'd been around non-league football trying to find a home. It was Hampton and Richmond where he said he finally felt at home as a footballer when he hadn't had much success anywhere. And he came to Portsmouth in October 2016 from Hampton during the promotion season under Paul Cook. Well, he's 4 minutes away from being the ultimate hero for Portsmouth.
Well, it's my local club, Hampton and Richmond. I've seen him play there numerous times. A few years ago, he's been playing in front of a few hundred people against Brentwood. Took a cut in wages at Hemel, basically because he wasn't scoring in a barren run. He never gave up. Good luck to him.
Sunderland find themselves 2-1 down, but trying to respond here. Deep into extra time, just over 3 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Portsmouth 2-1 up. Here's Lyndon Gooch down the right-hand side of the area, faced up by Gareth Evans, and Lee Brown gets to the byline. Deep ball to the far post, headed out by Jamal Lowe. Drops for Denver Hume at the edge of the area. Hume runs into Walks. Now McGeady, left-hand corner of the area. Good ball back in, headed up in the air. McGilvray won't come for it, and Lowe tries to head it clear from the right-hand corner of the box, and it's all hurried from Portsmouth. Now Walks wins it back from Denver Hume. Slides it down the right-hand side, but he won't find Ollie Hawkins. Baldwin will give it back to his goalkeeper. Time ticks away for Sunderland. 3 minutes to go. Portsmouth leading by 2-1 in the Checkatrade Trophy final. Sent downfield long by McLaughlin for Sunderland, looking for Charlie White, but it's too far ahead of him, and it will bounce 2 or 3 times and over the dead ball line, and Portsmouth will take as long as they possibly can with this goal kick, leading 2-1 on TalkSport 2. The blue and white flags of Portsmouth are waving away to our right hand side, and all is still away to our left, David Connolly. The Sunderland fans, well, they can't believe it. Based on the first 45 minutes, you would never have suspected Portsmouth had a comeback in them.
No, you wouldn't. I mean, they were superb. Portsmouth really had to raise their game another, 2 or 3 levels. They did that. The changes Kenny Jackett made were fantastic. They really worked. You've got to say, since that first half, they've been in the ascendancy. They really have.
Pompey chimes ringing around Wembley Stadium. They're less than 2 minutes away from winning the Checker Trade Trophy, but here comes Sunderland, trying to force penalties. Right-hand side, ball's played in, looking for Charlie White, headed up in the air by Burgess. Drops to Denver Hume, left-hand corner of the box. Charlie White chests it down, might come for McGeady. It's in! It's 2-2! He slid it in! Matt Clark couldn't keep it out on the line, and Aidan McGeady doubles his goal tally for the afternoon to take us to penalties, surely. It's 2-2 at Wembley.
Oh, would you believe it? McGeady's the main man. He's been superb today as well. What a player. A complete bargain. He's coming to Sunderland. He's been superb. Player of the season, League One for me. He's come up with the goods here. They keep it alive, Sunderland. Great little move into the front. They work it ever so well out wide. It's a terrific ball to the back post. It's just kept alive. Denver Hume here. Lovely little ball inside. White gets up first. Little set. Lovely over there. I think it's Lee Cattermole. And then McGeady fakes to shoot, then drags it inside onto his left foot. I think he sits. Thompson is it down on his backside. Lovely finish, and then I think Clark on the line can't clear it, but brilliant play from McGeady.
That was so cool. Just as Lowe was at the other end to dink it over the goalkeeper for 2-1. For McGeady to have the presence of mind to drop his shoulder inside the penalty area and then slot the ball home for 2-2. Heading towards the end of the 30 minutes. And we're into 2 minutes of added on time. Here's Jamal Lowe at the edge of the area for Portsmouth, crowded out by a couple of Sunderland defenders. Now Anton Walks picks up the loose ball. Nathan Thompson for Portsmouth into the edge of the box. Pittman works it out to the left-hand side for Lee Brown. Gareth Evans picks it up, cross into the area, headed out by Cattermole, only as far as Tom Naylor. What have Portsmouth got left? Brown with a cross, looking for Hawkins, knocks it down. Jamal Lowe with a complete air shot, 6 yards out, and was free as a bird, but couldn't strike it goalwards, and it's cleared away by Sunderland. Heart in mouth stuff at Wembley.
Oh, it's easy chance, and the one he scored. Ball into Hawkins again, he's won everything. Headed down to Jamal Lowe, it's coming across his body onto his left foot. Look, it is a difficult skill on your weaker side, but he's basically had an air shot. Completely missed his kick. What a chance.
So we're into added time at the end of extra time. 2 minutes went up from the fourth official. Nearly one of those has gone. Portsmouth coming forward with Jamal Lowe, right-hand corner of the penalty area. Turns away from Hume, tries to clip the ball in, goes behind off Hume. Late corner to Portsmouth.
Super skill here from Lowe. Ducks inside, then goes on the outside. One inside a corner, and the voice has gone.
Thanks for that. Lee Brown with the corner for Portsmouth. Everybody's voices are going to go if a goal goes in here. Lee Brown with the corner for Portsmouth. Up goes McLaughlin and claims it well at his far post and bowls it out overarm. And Lyndon Gooch starts a counter-attack for Sunderland. It's 2-on-2. Gooch goes inside his man. Now Portsmouth shirts flooding back. Gooch tries to get beyond Christian Burgess, but the centre-half sticks out a long leg and pokes it out for a throw and stops Sunderland's counter-attack.
Oh, Gooch has gone the wrong way though. I mean, he had runners to the right, he's gone to the left. Great counter-attack though. Is there going to be another chance?
Honeyman plays the ball in field for Max Power, who tries an ambitious drive and it sails high and wide and not particularly handsome. And that is that. The referee blows the full-time whistle, and it will take penalty kicks to decide who wins the 2019 Checker Trade Trophy. Jamal Lowe had given Portsmouth a 2-1 lead in extra time with an exquisite chip over keeper John McLaughlin, but Aidan McGeady had the last word in extra time, equalising with his second goal of the afternoon as Sunderland press forward in desperation, and they have forced penalties. It's all about from 12 yards from here on in. Heroes and villains will be made in the next 10 or 15 minutes on TalkSport 2, because the Checkatrade Trophy final has finished after extra time. Portsmouth 2, Sunderland 2.
I just wonder as well, if I was George Honeyman, I think he's pleased. Forget the fans, you're going first. I think that's always important.
Both goalkeepers just trudging away towards the end to our right, where the Portsmouth fans are housed. And Craig McGilvray, he's going to have first dibs in this penalty shootout. He's saved a couple of penalties this season against Bristol Rovers and against Accrington Stanley. McLaughlin's also saved a couple of penalties in league action against Bradford and Fleetwood. And Sunderland get first dibs, and it looks like Aidan McGeady, who brought us level right at the end of extra time, is going to take Sunderland's first spot kick. Indeed he is. A snip, as Davy Connolly rightly said, brought in 250 grand after 3 years at Everton, including loans away to the likes of Sheffield Wednesday and Preston North End. He will get the penalty shootout underway on TalkSport 2 for Sunderland, up against McGilvray, in front of those Portsmouth fans willing him to miss. Referee blows his whistle, and McGeady steps up, right-footed, little dummy, and rolls it in off the inside of the post. McGilvray gets right and nearly got there, but McGeady has a penalty to go with his 2 goals in the afternoon, and Sunderland are off and running.
Oh, pleased for him. Took a little stutter step, waiting for the keeper to go. He didn't really, and then rolled it in. It wasn't the most convincing strikes, I have to say. Bobbled into the far corner off the post.
Gareth Evans, who scored 3 goals in the Checkatrade Trophy this season and was really effective coming on as a second half substitute for Portsmouth, will get their spot kicks underway. Shorter run-up for Evans, up against McLaughlin, in! He went straight through McLaughlin. Well, the Sunderland fans away to our left thought it was saved. He guessed right McLaughlin, but just couldn't get low down enough underneath his left hand, and in for 1-1 on TalkSport 2.
Oh, you know what? He actually dived over the ball. Thought the penalty was going higher. It went along the ground, couldn't get down then quick enough. Got a touch on it though, didn't he? Got a touch on it. It was close to being kept out.
Lee Cattermole, nearing 10 years at Sunderland, played in the League Cup final that they lost in 2014 to Manchester City. He's up next for Sunderland, right-footed, saved by McGilvray, gets right and pokes it out to his left-hand side. Lee Cattermole fails from the spot, and Portsmouth take an advantage.
Right, he read it there. The goalkeeper just opened his body out there. Cattermole showed him what side he was going to. It was a good height as well, mid-height, waist height. It's a shame. It's a shame for Cattermole. Yeah. He's had a really good game.
Well, another veteran out there now in Brett Pittman, 31 years of age. 2 goals in his last 3 games. What can he do from the spot? Can he give Portsmouth the advantage after 2 spot kicks each? Right-footed, he scores! McLaughlin guessed right but couldn't get near it. And Brett Pittman, after 2 penalties each, makes it Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 2.
That's carbon copy pen, but this time Pittman's got more power on it. Opens his body out. The goalkeeper reads it as well, but had too much pace.
Another of the substitutes steps up next. It's Lyndon Gooch for Sunderland, the American, born in California, will take this next spot kick. So 2 penalties taken apiece. 2-1 to Portsmouth. Short run up from Gooch, right-footed, and sends it right into the roof of the net. Wow, no goalkeeper in the world would have stopped that. Perfect placement from Lyndon Gooch, and we're back at 2-2, but Portsmouth still have to take their 3rd pen.
Yeah, it's gone to the same side. This time gone right in the roof of the net. Terrific penalty.
Lee Brown, the former Queen's Park Rangers youth player, spent 7 years at Bristol Rovers before a free transfer last July to Portsmouth. A chance to give them the advantage back. Lee Brown, left-footed, drives it right down the centre of the goal. McLaughlin flew to his right, but the ball went straight down the middle. 3 penalties taken. Sunderland 2, Portsmouth 3 on TalkSport 2.
No nonsense, just blasted it Straight as an arrow down through the middle. I think Brown's been brilliant today. Really good fullback. Whenever I see him, I'm impressed with him. Terrific penalty.
So for Sunderland's fourth penalty, they call upon Max Power. Another short run up for him. McGilvery waits on his line. Up steps Power and sends him the wrong way. Sunderland score. They have 3 penalties from 4 taken, and it would be Jamal Lowe next up for Pompey.
Yeah, really lovely pen there. A lot have gone to their goalkeepers left, haven't they, so far? Nearly all of them, apart from that one from Brown down the middle.
Well, Lowe, who thought he'd won it at 2-1 for Portsmouth, only to be denied by McGeady's late equaliser, now has a chance to restore Portsmouth advantage in the shootout. Lowe, right-footed, clips it straight down the middle. Quite nonchalant from Jamal Lowe. So Sunderland now have got to score this 5th spot kick. And it's going to be... just looking to see who it is. It's Luke O'Neill who's going to take it for this 5th penalty for Sunderland. Has to score, otherwise the Checkatrade Trophy belongs to Portsmouth. Luke O'Neill up against McGilvery. Right-footed effort coming up. O'Neill rolls it in. Very, very calm and casual from Luke O'Neill. But Ollie Hawkins now has the chance to win the trophy for Portsmouth.
He needs his goalkeeper here to help him out. Can he come up with a save here? McLaughlin. Terrific penalty though, wasn't it? Very casual and calm.
Scored in the semi-final after coming back from injury, Ollie Hawkins. Portsmouth are 12 yards away from winning the Checkatrade Trophy. It's Hawkins up against McLaughlin, right-footed, scores, and Portsmouth have won it on penalties. Ollie Hawkins with the decisive spot kick. Sunderland head back to the northeast empty-handed, but Portsmouth have won the Checkatrade Trophy. Kenny Jackett wins it for the 2nd time in his managerial career, having done it before with Swansea City. Now he's done it with Pompey. The chimes will ring out around Wembley because Portsmouth have won the Checkatrade Trophy, winning on a penalty shootout.